gonna say
There
I
it
can't
is.
see it. There it is.
It's being
Got
live
it.
streamed. Everyone has to agree.
Oh, you do. There it is now. Live on the YouTube.
Oh, heck yeah, there it is.
There we are.
Except it's
We are live.
LJ's personal meeting room.
Mm-hmm.
Is that your red room?
I was gonna change it. I did change it actually. I don't know why it says that, but it's all good.
Yeah.
Y'all ready to get going?
Let's do it.
Ready.
All right. 3, 2, 1. Welcome back to Bankrupt Overland. We are back at it. Finally back at it. It's been a long break over the holidays. But we came back with a banger per usual with the crew. We have the regulars as usual. What's up, guys?
What's up, man?
Yo, what's up?
And also in the house across the country, we have our traveling duo of Russ and Liz. How are y'all doing?
Doing fantastic.
Excellent.
Nice. I'm gonna need all to match my energy a little bit here. We gotta get it up a little bit. There's a lot of energy pre-show. We gotta get it back up. There it is.
Getting all
there
fired
it is.
up.
Russ is
so-
just sad that the Rome 4 Low logo isn't shown on his truck right now. That's what it is.
Yeah, he spent some time getting it all dialed in
Yep.
there.
It took me an hour to park the truck perfectly right behind me.
Liz on the
And now-
GMRS. No, left.
And now it's dark, so you can't see it. It's wasted.
Well, we saw it, so that's all that matters, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely we're a little late on the timing. It would have been a great start to have the background of where y'all are. And so before we go into what we're going to talk about tonight, which is Alaska, so we're pumped about it, give us a little quick update about where you are right now, because the view was pretty epic. We're going to try to pull a screenshot from the first part of this and see if we can get that out there.
Yeah, we're currently in Anza Borrego, the desert. We just moved from Joshua Tree yesterday. We had been there for about a week, I think exactly. It was Monday to Monday. That was just totally epic. Jeff gave us some great insight and intel on where to wheel in Joshua Tree. So we had a full day of wheeling out there. It was incredible. But yeah, Joshua Tree is first time I've been there. First time, Liz, you've been there?
First
Okay,
time.
no. Okay, yeah. It was everything I had heard it was supposed to be. So
That's awesome.
Nice.
but
I feel like-
currently we are in Anza Borrego. We haven't looked or done anything because we just got here like pretty much last night in the dark when we actually parked.
Nice.
And I spent all morning, like I said, parking the car for the truck. And then the rest of the afternoon hooking this rig up here and getting the camera and all that stuff because we're profesh.
Well, that makes one of us. So
Yeah, only one.
yeah,
I just
don't
got
know.
here about 3 minutes ago.
Well, glad to see y'all are still moving along the road. We have definitely hung out some since we last talked, which was pretty epic. But we'll probably get to that in a later episode. There is a nice gem hiding on my MacBook right now from a whiskey driven podcast we did. So I'm excited to get into that one once it gets
I wanna hear that
man, I
one.
didn't even hear about that one.
Some
It was
after
emotional.
hours.
It got deep.
It got real deep.
Oh,
Is this allowed to be live streamed?
I don't know. We'll see about that one. I haven't listened to it all. But yeah, so when we last got on, we were talking about it before we got on the show, but I think Jasper was the last city that we really talked through, and y'all were getting ready to go into Alaska. And so quick recap, if you're just joining us, we met up 3 episodes in our series ago with Russ and Liz. They were leaving Alabama and heading to Alaska. And so we've got episode kind of that gets out of town. We've got an episode of them on the way to Alaska. And this episode, we're going to start Alaska onward and talk about your journey through the state of Alaska and back out. And I mean, I'm just like, I can just see it in my head as I'm talking about it, the pictures that you showed me, and I am just excited to dig in and continue the story. So with that, are we good just starting story time and sitting back and listening to y'all tell stories?
I'm excited. Story time. Yes.
Awesome.
I love story
I
time.
think so.
Awesome. Storyteller, take it away. I'm anxiously awaiting. I have my whiskey ready and I am excited for the next couple hours.
Cheers.
Cheers, guys. Yeah,
Cheers.
actually, we're in the midst of semi-dry January, so
Okay.
this is our one
Dry-ish.
day a week. Yeah, dryish. Yeah,
Mhm,
trying to
dryish.
like.
It doesn't look too dry over there, and you're in the
Yeah.
desert, so
Semi.
Yeah.
got it.
Before I even go anywhere about the story, these chiladas right here, Modelo chiladas.
Mm-hmm.
Those are good.
We are obsessed with these things.
Yes.
Is that a
They're like
mango?
the best things ever.
Yeah. Mango
I
chili.
gotta try that one.
Whoa.
You
my-
are in Southern California. I can
They're
tell.
Yeah.
so good.
I'm just saying.
we
We actually found them in the Pacific Northwest.
yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
You got to get yourself the cup. Go to like the Mexican
Yes.
markets, and then you get the
Okay.
cup with the salt and the Is it? I'm gonna butcher the name.
Tajin.
Tajin.
Tahine. Yep.
Tahine. Yeah. Get that. And pour
I'll
your
say
beer
it
in there.
different.
Yep. Yep.
We will do that.
Yeah. If
On the next.
there's something
dry
out there like that,
January.
I'm in.
Mhm.
Semi-dry.
Wait till February at least.
Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly.
No, these things are good. And then
delicious.
I guess the other day, we were in Joshua Tree somewhere, and I think I saw. I think I was talking trash on Bud Light, and I was like, wait a second, there's a Bud Light Chilada
Yep.
Clamato Fuego.
It's good.
It's
Oh
really
my-
good.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like the
Actually-
weirdest combo, but it tastes so good.
No, it is so good. So I'm an
Mhm.
avid Clamato drinker. I'll drink it. I'll just
Nice.
drink right out of the bottle.
Yep.
But I saw that immediately. I was like, okay, I got to have it. I actually bought one for the podcast, so I'm sure at some point I'll be whipping that out.
Is it the tall boy? Like the only one that you can get? The
it's
giant? Yep.
massive. Yeah, it barely even fits.
Yeah.
22 and a half ounce.
It barely
fit
even
in your
fits in
cup
our
holder?
fridge. Yeah.
I mean, does it fit in your fridge? Sorry. I don't know what I'm talking about.
It's like an
Number-
extra armrest as you're driving.
Yeah,
Not drinking.
no,
though.
it does. If anybody's familiar with Tacomas, their cup holders are way too small, and in the worst places too. So
How many cup holders do you have though?
6.
5.
Because I had one in my car, so I don't want to
Two,
hear
one,
about
two.
that complaining.
Couldn't be a Land Cruiser.
2.
Definitely not a Lexus.
I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 right
Not
in,
counting the
in my
back.
center console.
Yeah, my center console goes 2, 1, 2. Well, actually, the 2 in the are for
Dang.
the back seat. So, but they're just, I don't know. Everybody complains about them. In fact, I think there's like a TacomaLifestyle.com or something like that actually you can replace 2 of them with bigger diameter holes. Yeah, you like that?
Like it's like an
yes.
insert. Yeah,
Yes.
I've seen
So you-
those. Yeah,
You
that's-
replace it on your console, yeah. So you can
Nice.
actually fit like a one of these guys in it.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they have some of those there's somebody that 3D prints those for Land Cruisers, and I think you can put a Yeti in them, and it like holds the Yeti
Mhm.
perfectly. The bigger Yetis.
Yeah. The big ones.
Nice.
The ones that hold cans inside.
No, like the big gulpers. Like it's got a little bit
Mm.
of a smaller bottom. a
Oh,
wider
right,
body.
yes. Right.
One of those guys.
Right.
Don't know how to describe the tumbler. Is it called a tumbler?
Tumbler.
Meh.
I believe so, yes.
What'd I say? I said something, not a tumbler.
Gulpers.
A gulper?
I think you just described the southern fish. I caught one of them gulpers.
Oh,
Down by the
you gotta
creek.
you gotta love a Tennessee public school education, baby.
or the gulpers. Roll Tide.
Oh, them golfers? Oh yeah, I got one in the house.
Hey, listen, as an Alabama alumni, I can make fun of myself. So
Yeah, I mean it's who we are.
that's what it is.
It's who we are. We don't mince words and we like our guns.
Roll Tide.
Roll Tide.
Okay, so enough about cup holders, big gulps, and some sort of Tide, Bama, cousin, whatever you're doing. Let's get back to Alaska and start going down that path.
Yeah, story time, huh? Yes, I think we ended. I don't remember exactly. I probably should have listened to the last podcast just to kind of catch us up at the end, but I did forget to do that. I think we're leaving like Jasper. I think is where I left off, where we left
Okay.
off.
We're getting ready to go down an epic road, and you said
Yeah.
you wanted to stop before you go down this epic road.
Oh,
Might have
I'm
been
assuming that
metaphoric.
was the.
But I think it was an actual road as well.
I think that was the Cassier. I think we were talking about the Cassier, right? Maybe. don't know.
mm.
I don't remember.
Okay. Well, yeah. I mean, oh, you know what? There was a stop in Fraser that I wanted to talk about too, or Fraser Lake. So I think it was the night before, maybe the day before or the day of. My parents like had texted me and they were like, "Hey," they knew where we were, obviously, and she's like, "Hey," maybe it was my stepdad because he's usually like comes out of nowhere with these weird like news bits.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Hey, by the way, there's going to be like this huge electrical, storm from the sun. I forget what they
Yeah.
call it, sun flares or whatever. And it's about to like smash into the North Pole. And I think you probably are going to have a chance that
Mhm.
night to see the Northern Lights, possibly where you are." So the day went on. We found this like.
Have y'all seen the Northern Lights before? Or is
No,
this be the first time?
No, the first time.
Oh,
So
it's big.
yeah, and here's the thing: like we went through the whole day, and we're camped on this lake. Well, the RVs parked on this lake, and
Mhm.
Fraser Lake in BC, and it was just we were distracted by so many other things. It was beautiful. There were tons of water birds. There was a beaver like right where we were. Beautiful, beautiful sunset. One of the most beautiful sunsets I've seen.
Mm.
It was just a lot to take in, and we had forgotten about the Northern Lights thing.
Mhm.
And we're just about to like close up shop and like tuck in for the night, and I was like, wait a second, wasn't there like wait, and I opened the door and I could see with your naked eye, the green doesn't really stand out, right?
Okay.
It's like this white hazy. I think if it's probably right above you, it does.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, but when it's off in the distance, and it was over the horizon, I could just see like light, and it was definitely moving. And I was like, okay, I think that might be the Northern Lights. So I grabbed my camera, and I set that up just to get a quick photograph of it just to see if that's what I was seeing. And when I took the photo and I looked at it and zoomed in, you could see the green because the camera picks up a lot more.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, cool. So I set the camera on time lapse and I let it go for about 15 minutes. And, I was in a hurry because, you don't know how long it's going to last. Usually it just kind of dances and sometimes it'll just go away.
Mhm.
And it'll be gone for a while. So I stood up for about 15 minutes and rewatched it. I was like, my jaw just dropped because I couldn't believe the colors that it picked up, and it was like dancing around. Again, first time I've ever seen it in person.
Sure.
And then something really strange happened. It got darker, so we were able to see a little bit of the green. And we're just taking it in with our eyes at this point and just watching it, and all of a sudden we see this weird like crazy orange glow on the horizon of the hillside, and this is across the lake. So we're looking north. We're on the south side of the lake. We're looking directly north.
Yeah.
On the north side, right where the Northern Lights are, see this orange globe, and it's getting brighter and brighter. It wasn't even a globe at that point. It was
No.
just like, it looked like the hillside was on fire, like a wildfire had just started.
It's just
And I
like
was-
ominous and out of nowhere. You know,
Yeah.
just it was like, what the fuck is that?
It was
And I was
orange.
like,
Yeah.
I don't know. What is that? That's just really strange. Like an alien, like a spaceship was like, you know, coming up over the horizon. It was
Yeah.
very bizarre.
Yeah, and we both looked at it and we're like, I think we're watching a wildfire start. Like,
Oh,
you know, like
Whoa.
we kind of surprised us, and then
We were wrong.
we were wrong. Yeah, so
Oh, okay.
we realized it was the fucking moon coming up over the horizon. I'm telling you, it was the craziest orange we had ever seen.
Orange and like this weird hazy like light, you know, it
Yeah,
was
yeah.
just very strange.
Yeah, it
Quick,
was
Russ,
bizarre.
call 911. The moon's
Yeah.
rising. Damn.
No, it really threw us off. But I mean, that once we realized what it was, I was like, well, there goes the Northern Lights. We ain't going to see it anymore. And
Yeah.
because it kind of, once it got above the horizon, I mean, there was nothing.
Yeah.
So that was a really cool spot.
Wow.
Great
That's
Lake,
awesome.
free for RV. You know, you could stay. I don't know if they even had a limit, but it was free. It was like in this tiny little town
Mhm.
in the middle of BC. So it was a great rest stop for us because I think by the next day we had made it. After we left Fraser, we had made it to Stewart, right? Or Mesidon.
I don't think so. I think there was one more.
There was one more stop in there. Regardless,
There's
I
a
don't remember.
lot of stops.
How many
are
nights
not
are y'all
important.
averaging
hold
on
on.
a stop right now? Are y'all like setting up and having a couple days to set up camp, or are y'all kind of more true overlanding where you might maybe set up for a day, just get out, change, and then move as you're trying to get to Alaska? Or are you able to enjoy this part of it yet?
Depends on the area.
Fair.
Yeah.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes, I can hear you.
Yes. Yeah, I would say it just depends on the area. You know, there were certain places we knew we wanted to spend a little bit more time, so we stayed there longer. But for the most part, after Jasper, we were just trying to get to Alaska. And I think that was
Mhm.
pretty much just one night stops, except for we did, I think, spend 2 nights in a provincial campground called Mesidon Junction. And that was mainly because it was nice, but you just kind of hit a wall, you know. And I mean, I hit a wall and I'm
Mhm.
not the one even driving. We probably already talked about this a little bit in our last.
A little bit.
But you're just like, oh, this is a nice spot. Maybe you just want to stay 2 nights.
Yeah.
Like you
Kind
don't
of
have to
recover. Yeah.
immediately move the next day.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I would say after, for the most part, it was just, I mean, just overnighting somewhere. There were
Mhm.
rest stops. Traveling through the Yukon, we stayed at some pretty, just straight up like rest stops, gravel with just idling Mack trucks
Mhm. All night.
all night.
Wow. Well,
yeah.
and let's be honest though, because you're at this point you're kind of in a time crunch, right? You don't want to get stuck in Alaska
Exactly.
during winter. Like that would be worst case scenario.
Yeah.
So you still have, once you get to the lower 48, it's a little bit more relaxed where you can spend a couple more, nights there. But if you have an objective in Alaska, you have a very small window
Yeah.
to get to wherever you want to go. So I see when you talk about the wall, I totally understand because it's like your time frame, your window is so short to actually experience Alaska and
Yeah.
be safe about it,
Yeah, because we were already late in the season
Mhm.
to getting there, the shoulder season.
Mhm.
It was like the end of, I think we got to Alaska like August 26th or something. Well, that was May.
Okay.
That might be Haines. When
Mhm.
we actually first crossed into Alaska was before then, and that's where we
Okay.
went to Hyder
Yeah.
and
Okay.
Stewart. And I think I know what your epicness was, maybe. What we
Salmon Glacier.
saw, that and the other things than Hyder.
Just say it,
Well, I
Liz.
thought
You
you
don't
were
have
gonna.
to hide it.
I thought you were gonna tell the story.
I'm sitting here like twitching
I'm on
right
the
now.
edge
Just
of my
say it, Liz.
seat,
Come
yeah.
Yeah,
on,
I mean,
come
tell.
on.
I don't know. I don't
Somebody
remember
tell
watching
me
that.
what's going
Yeah.
on.
What's the thing at the place?
I didn't want to steal his thunder,
No,
but you couldn't remember.
I don't.
So
I
I
still
was
don't.
trying to refresh your
Well, that's what I'm
memory.
saying. Maybe
Tell us.
it was Sam and Glacier. That's what I'm assuming.
And the bears.
Yeah. I know, but that whole road,
Those
right?
were more
Talking about the whole
cool.
road. Okay. Yeah. Sure. We finally did get to Stewart, and this, I guess that's maybe what I was talking about. So Stewart is a town in BC that borders Alaska. That's the most southern town in Alaska.
Mhm.
Is called Hyder. Across the border, there's a tiny town. I think there's like
Hyder's smaller.
Hyder. Yeah, Hyder's like, I think it might be a dozen residents or something like that. Correct me if I'm wrong, but it is. It's an old town. It's
Small
pretty
town,
run down,
yeah.
but
Yeah.
they have some really cute little shops there though that
Stewart.
are still doing their thing. What?
That's in Stewart.
No. There's some
In
old shops in
Hyder?
Hyder as well. Yeah.
Okay.
As soon as you cross the border, there's those two ladies that they were on the porch. They waved to us. I don't remember what the shop was. It was like a gift shop or something.
Hey,
Okay.
Russ, hang on. I gotta
Yeah.
stop you.
Go.
For a second. I just looked it up. There's the population of Hyder is 12. You are not
Is it
kidding.
really?
It's
Yeah.
legitimately 12 in 2020. You are not
Yes.
kidding.
12 people. That's the
That's
person that runs the
amazing.
post office. And
Yep.
because you have to have a post office if you're a
Yeah.
town, right?
Yeah.
There's a post
And then
office.
I
I
mailed
maybe-
something there.
Maybe a
actually.
gas station.
They run the post
No.
office and the gas station.
No gas station.
No gas
No
station.
gas station. Wow.
You literally have to see U.S. Customs or Canadian Customs to go to gas stations.
Wow. That's
Wow.
wow.
Well,
Sorry, I didn't mean
and-
to
and-
interrupt, but I thought
and
that
the
was
re-
amazing.
The reason for that is the road doesn't go anywhere, so it goes out to like it
Okay.
ends at a mine. But the reason why we went to Hyder really was because I think some folks earlier in the trip made sure that we went there because
Some Germans
some Germans the Germans
that we met.
they insisted Mazaidan actually
Yes.
right
Mm-hmm.
They actually told us we need to go there because they have a bear viewing or like an observation deck
Whoa.
for the bears.
Okay.
Fish
So
Creek observation deck.
yeah.
Oh.
So essentially
It's
you
awesome.
have this this salmon run creek
Mhm.
that the bears frequent obviously for food.
It's totally wild though. I think it's run by the U.S. Forest Service.
Okay.
And I guess they decided to tourists and people were coming anyway, and it was getting, unsafe. I don't
Yeah.
know when they decided to make it, a safe experience, but at some point, just throngs of people, found out that this was
Mhm.
like an annual stop. So
Got
they
it.
built a deck, like
Mhm.
a long boardwalk that runs from the parking lot all the way, like pretty good distance down the length of Fish Creek, and it's
Mhm.
really high, it's raised, so it's safe for the humans and the bears. There's
Mhm.
very, very limited chance of
Yeah.
a run in there. I guess if the bears were determined or if a human was stupid enough to go down there.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's all very safe, and you're watching them do their natural behaviors. And
Got it.
Yeah. And now
was
the bears, we're
super
not talking
cool.
about the black bears or the smokies. We're talking about like legit grizzlies.
Yeah,
that,
the ones
like-
They
that
are.
eat you.
But
The ones that-
yes,
Jump.
but there's black bears there too, and they
Oh.
actually, we actually saw a black bear that day. Well, we saw two black
Wow.
bears that day, and or two grizzlies. But yeah,
Whoa.
there's both species
Yeah.
there.
Okay.
But it's more so
Oh,
bears
wow.
I think that come to feed on the salmon,
Oh,
and also some
man.
cool birds. There's wolves. We didn't see any wolves. I did see a mink
Cool.
which was really cool. The first and
Yeah.
only one I've ever seen.
What's a mink? Is it like a raccoon?
They're in the weasel family. They're just like a weasel, like a an overgrown
Like
ferret.
yeah.
With black fur. People make coats out of them.
Mink coats. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's all. I
mink
knew the
coats.
mink coat reference. I was like, I don't know if I've ever seen a mink.
They're
Yeah.
super cute. They're really cute.
Are they mean?
I don't think they're friendly.
Okay, so that's a no.
But
That's a
they're-
yes. I mean, yes, they are mean.
They're very human avoidant. They're not
Adverse,
really.
yeah.
Yes, yeah, they're not really looking to interact. I mean, he was in and out. Like I just saw like a flash. I was like, "Oh my god, I saw a mink!" And he's like, "What? Huh?" Yeah, it's a really cool spot. So, if anyone listening is planning their trip to Alaska, I'd definitely put it on your list, especially if it's in the early fall, during the salmon run.
Yeah.
Really good chance. I mean, it's not guaranteed, of course, but a really good chance you're going to see grizzlies eating while you're there.
Wow.
That's
I'm glad to
wow.
see that you're
Picture's
shooting
awesome.
at 200 millimeters, Russ. That's I'm happy
Yeah,
to
that's
see
a
that. You're maxed out on your
Yeah,
zoom.
yeah.
Yes, I am.
Nice.
Yeah. Okay. I was gonna ask when she was done
Yeah, sorry,
if you
show
could
some
see
more
the screen.
pictures.
Yeah. Can you see my
Yes.
screen? Or I'm sharing. Okay. Yeah.
Tell 'em about this
there,
bear.
There he is. Yeah. I think they said there was a 4-year-old. And they're brown
Wow.
bears by the coast. They're called grizzly bears when they're inland, but they're the same.
Oh, interesting. I didn't know that
Oh.
there was a
That's a thing. People definitely told us that. That was definitely a thing.
correction. It is
But yeah, he's munching on a piece on a.
wow.
I mean that salmon was twice the size.
Subadult.
Subadult. Let me see if I can.
Got a little
Hey.
snacky snack, little wet
Yeah.
snack.
Oh, yeah.
Mhm.
There it is.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Do
it's a
you guys
chum
probably already
salmon.
know this. Wow. So as salmon travel upstream, their body morphs and changes. Did y'all
Yeah.
know this? So like they're typically like a saltwater. Some they come from brackish waters is probably more appropriate. But then as they go to fresh water, their body changes and like I call it their snout, but like their like maybe it's a beak. I don't know. But
They
like
get a
their
hump.
nose, yeah, they get like a
Yep.
hump and it
And it
gets
gets hooked.
elongated. It's
Mhm.
wild the whole process that they go through.
Did not know that.
Metamorphosis.
Yeah, it's cool.
We also found
Wow.
out here watching this that you would see the bear catch a fish and he would just kind of take a chunk out of it and then like throw it out. And it was like, what? I asked someone else, there were some people who were like, yeah, this is my 6th day here. Like, I mean, people are
Wow,
really
just
into it, come
watching, yeah.
just to see what else may show up.
Wow.
And someone told me, and we did later confirm it, that they've developed a taste for, so the ones they're spitting out are the males. What they're looking for is
Wow.
the females that are carrying the roe.
Oh,
And
interesting.
so they want the roe, and I think the females are a little fattier. So they just know it's more calorie dense and
Oh, interesting.
So for people not
Evolution
watching the YouTube live, Russ is showing pictures of brown or grizzly bears standing on their feet.
It's debatable.
I think
Tall,
it's debatable.
tall, and scary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to cross paths with these guys. And the other picture
No.
was a bear just chomping a fish in the river, and it was
This is for the same record, or for the same record. For the record, this is the same bear.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was only one at this time. So this guy ran down the stream and chased some salmon.
wow,
The video.
Yeah, I do. I mean, somewhere. But
wow.
I can't pull it up right now. Take
We're
too long to dig
woefully
through.
unprepared.
Yeah, but yeah,
this is
they-
awesome.
Awesome.
he was
I
just
mean, there's like
grabbing.
National Geographic pictures right here.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
these are. What's the old guy that narrates all the National Geographic films?
Morgan
David
Freeman.
Attenborough?
No.
Attenborough.
David Attenborough.
Yeah.
Yeah, David Attenborough. It's like David Attenborough, like
Yeah.
the grizzly bear is
Yeah.
eating a fish
Wow, that's
in the
pretty
river.
good.
Alaska.
But when we first got there, there was a black bear.
I
You
don't-
have his picture,
I
don't
don't
Oh.
think so. I don't
So,
think so.
well, he was okay. Maybe it was in this
Ah.
area though. This pond.
Yeah, well, don't go to that one yet. We
Ish.
didn't talk about
So
that yet.
there was a black bear over there, and then the grizzly was eating over here.
Oh, he's
Is this the
trucking
bear
it through that.
running?
Yeah,
That's cool.
So yeah, you can see him. He's
Wow.
just chasing after shit, and then as soon as something moves, he's like, "Oh, fuck that! I'm
He-
gonna get it."
He would, yeah, or he would act
Oh
like
my
he
gosh.
was leaving, and you think, okay, that's it, and then he would just be like, I think I'll go back.
I'm
you
so
know,
hungry.
and yeah, he'd
Yeah.
just turn around and run back down the stream, and he did
Wow.
that a few times. Be like, oh, he's gone. Oh, wait, he's back. He was like super playful. And, I mean, appeared to be
Wow.
playful. I'm sure the
Yeah.
fish didn't think so, but as he's just like, you know,
Yeah.
manhandling them, bear handling
Wow.
them. It was really cool. And there
Wow.
was some
We-
burps.
We could have stayed there all day, honestly.
Yeah.
Like that, just watching them that close. I mean, you're on this deck. It's like 20 feet off the water level,
Mhm.
and the
Mhm.
bears are just right underneath you. I mean,
Wow.
I don't
That's
even think I
wild.
needed a 200 millimeter lens to shoot it. I mean, it was that close.
Oh wow.
That was cool.
So,
Wow.
And then we
um,
went to San
yeah. So like I said, we could have stayed there all day, but we
Mhm.
we had a secondary objective, which was Salmon Glacier.
Mhm.
And it's pretty accessible, especially the view from a view. There is a viewpoint that everybody goes to, but you can pretty much get glimpses of. So this glacier is massive. I wish I had some facts and some stats, but I don't. The glacier comes off of an ice field and it splits, which is really wild. Well, you gonna fact check some stuff? She's on it.
Let's keep the illusion of.
So while you're talking about it, why is it called Salmon Glacier? Is it because of that split, or what?
No,
what's the name for it?
I don't know. Might have something to do with the fact that it's a major salmon run area.
Oh, okay.
But this would be kind of the west or south leg of it.
Yeah.
This is on your way up to the viewpoint. So you can kind of, like I said, you can get glimpses of it on the trail on the way up,
Yeah.
and it's just an incredible view. I did some pretty cool edits of that.
Oh,
You did like a
that's
10-year time lapse there, right? That's awesome. That's so cool.
Wow. That's amazing.
It looks like it's hard to tell how big it really is by
Yeah.
the pictures.
It is. It's
Whoa.
so massive.
I think it's the largest glacier in North America that you can see by car.
Okay.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah, they can like actually drive too. Man.
I
That's
mean, you see
incredible.
mountain peaks in that photo, and then just the glaciers nestled between those peaks. Like that just gives you the scale. And it's even then, I can't imagine how big it actually looks in person.
Yeah, it's giant.
Wow.
Yeah, I need to see like a Land Cruiser down there so I know like reference.
I don't know if you'd be able to see a Land Cruiser down there.
Yeah,
it would
I don't
have
think
6
it'll
cup
work.
holders though if it was down there. So
Or 2.
yeah, through an 80 series.
Well, it depends on the Land Cruiser you
3D
choose to send down
printed.
there.
Yeah.
It'd have to be a
Yeah.
solid axle.
Oh my
Oh
God.
man, it looks like Starlink has gotten the best of us here.
It sure
We've
has.
lost Russ and Liz.
Oh, bummer.
So they were telling me, they've been using Starlink since I guess they were in Canada is when they picked up their
Mhm.
Starlink, and with them being in Southern California right now, he said that it's really good up until about this time
Oh no, that's a
because
bummer.
this is when
Ah.
everybody gets out of work, whoever,
Oh,
out of school,
yeah.
and everybody will start streaming and doing everything on their own Wi-Fi. And so he
Overloading
was
the
mentioning
area.
that it gets a little tough this time. So
Yeah.
maybe we'll have to get him back in on his
Those
phone, maybe.
I will say, like, while we're trying to hook them back in, those shots of those bears is pretty incredible.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what it is, but like seeing wildlife in the wild is so special. Like, because then you're able to observe their natural habitat, right? Like, you get to see how these animals have existed for a millennia. They're not doing. Oops, I just punched my mic. They're not doing anything different than. I get excited. Yeah, I get excited and start using my hands. They're not doing anything that they haven't been doing for the past, 20,000, 30,000, 40,000, 100,000 years. So to be able to capture that in a photograph is so incredibly special.
Yeah, it's
And I
neat.
mean, he's shooting with good quality stuff, but even like capturing it in a photograph, but also like seeing it in person. No wonder people are staying there for 6 days. Like, you're just mesmerized.
Yeah.
You know,
You had to
It's
hang
like
out
you-
and see the world
yes,
happen.
I know.
Yeah.
see the whole cycle of life of like what happens in this tiny town of 12 people. It blows my mind that there's towns like that exist, and Russ and Liz are able to experience that. It's so special.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he
It's-
posted a few of those pictures when he was going through there on Instagram, and
Incredible.
I was blown away.
Yeah.
Just that, I think it was that bear like taking a big chunk out of a fish, and it's just like,
Yeah.
oh
Piece of
my
salmon, yeah.
gosh,
It's
they're just
wild.
hanging out with a bunch of grizzly bears right now,
Yep.
or brown bears. It's debatable,
Brown bears.
but
Oh.
bears, big bears. That's
Some
Big
what I'm
sort of
bears.
saying.
bears.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's
Exactly.
Oh
We
man, I
got
thought
them
we had him
back.
back.
They're coming up. Give them a minute to
coming.
connect to the Elon Musk
Yep.
satellites.
I know. Should we shame Elon some more to see if his internet will get better?
You should tweet
We'll have to
him.
get on
I mean,
Twitter for him to see us.
You gotta buy the blue verified dot and
Bazinga. Yeah. Oh, we almost had him.
No, that's okay. I want to kind of, while we're still trying to connect with them, I
Yeah,
want to talk
bring it
about
home, Steve.
those northern lights, man. That's like a bucket list item for me. Like it's you're seeing magnetic fields or some sort of fields in our sky, and you to be able to witness that with your bare eyes is
Yeah.
like
Brown bear or
no,
black
not brown bear.
grizzly
Yeah,
bear eyes?
I was gonna say not a brown bear, or black
Grizzly bear
grizzly
eyes?
bear,
What are you
but with
talking
like
If
your
you're
naked eyes. There you go.
colorblind,
Yeah,
does it matter which one it is?
no,
It does. It does. One will eat you.
Facts.
Y'all can you hear us?
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
you're back.
We got
Oh,
you now.
geez. Starlink, come on, yo.
Yeah, sorry.
This never happened.
I don't know if we need a contingency plan.
Yeah, I mean, we're watching the stats here, and I've never seen it drop off like this.
Mm.
But yeah, it appears I think we're okay.
We got
Yeah,
a
sound good.
question right when you guys dropped off from Titan Ross. It says, "What do you use for internet while traveling?" And then you dropped off, and he goes, "Oh, Starlink." You just answered my question.
That's amazing.
I thought that was pretty funny.
Oh my god.
But yeah, it's good
That's
stuff.
amazing. Yeah, because
All right,
in
what was the
California right
question?
now, it's
You back?
Yeah,
You
yeah. I
good?
think it's just in and out. It's weird.
I don't have high hopes. Sorry.
How is your cell service? Because sometimes you can get on your hotspot and get enough to keep a meeting rolling.
2 bars.
Oof.
I think
The joys of being in the middle of the desert.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Starlink might not be the option for us. Oh, Elon's. I mean, it's satellite internet. Like, that's what it is
Yeah.
at the end of the day.
It is what it
And
is.
All internet is oversubscribed. So
Yeah,
it's just
you know that.
the realities of technology.
Yep.
Yeah.
So,
unless you pay extra to make sure your lines aren't oversubscribed, which some people do.
Yeah, isn't that funny how you can do that?
It is
Just
funny.
say, "Oh, prioritize me."
Hey, Father, you're right. Your back is really good. Did you move your satellite? Did you get out and adjust the bunny ears?
Russ actually did get out.
Russ is moving the truck. That's what he's doing.
He's turning the off-road lights on so you can
That's
light
what he
it
is. He said, I got these new lights. I need to show them off.
I wouldn't be surprised.
up. Liz is laughing and Russ can't hear. Oh, hey, Russ. Welcome back.
Hey, what's up, Russ?
I'm back.
You missed it.
What I missed, make sure it's not there.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it was fine. It was fun. Sorry, guys. Sorry.
You're good. You're good.
Fingers crossed. It doesn't do it again. All right. So where were we?
Brown.
We were-
I had some
Salmon
photos up.
Glacier.
River.
Salmon Glacier, yeah.
Yeah. So I guess there's I don't know. There's kind of a perspective on the size of it.
Yeah.
Liz thinks it's a good size.
Well, as you dovetailed off into Starlink World, we were trying to figure out we needed a Land Cruiser down there so we could see the proportions of the Land Cruiser to the glacier, because we don't know anything about Land Cruisers around here, so you know. Or I'd
Honestly,
be okay with any Toyota Overland vehicle. Yeah.
There it is.
Yes.
Hey.
There.
Okay, that's a big glacier
Anyway, some sort of perspective.
with a Toyota for scale.
Yeah, Toyota. Yeah. So anyways, I guess we'll continue on story time here, but
Hey, good news is we can just edit all that out of the podcast whenever it goes on the real stuff. But for the YouTube livers, thanks for hanging with us.
Yeah.
So don't sweat it, man. We'll clip that right out, and then we'll splice this right in. Oh, did it happen again?
And he's frozen.
I froze this time.
No, I think you're good. I wonder if like sharing his screen might be kind of killing the whole the bandwidth
Just playing the game.
I'm not frozen.
Oh man.
I bet honestly, like one of those crevasses could swallow like a Tacoma or a Land Cruiser. Like it's so like the scale. It just messes with you, you know.
Because he's still pretty, like, there's still a pretty good scale he has on it.
Yeah.
With his Toyota.
Never ever drops off like this. This is crazy.
You said this is the first night in your new location?
Yeah, but I'm telling you, it's Starlink was fine all day long, and for whatever reason, it's just dropped.
It's really good right now. I see your cat's hanging out now. I see the cat.
Yes. See all the white in the top there. That's what dropped off. It is never like that ever.
Huh. There could be like a UFO flying over in between the.
Oh no!
Yeah.
That's just the moon.
That's what. It
That's
is.
just the
That's
moon.
what it is.
It's just
UFO. I think it could be the Russians.
Maybe.
We do have some Russians that listen. Don't stop, please.
Please, we appreciate your viewership. You're not going to get any U.S. intel from us. We're just a bunch of bumbling
Nothing worth the
idiots.
shit. That's
No.
Look at the cat.
Yeah, Elliot has joined
Who's
us.
the cat?
Elliot
Cat's
has
Elliot?
joined the chat.
Elliot went to Alaska.
What's
Wow.
up, Elliot?
He's
She
just
can't
like,
hear you.
How'd you like the minxes?
Tell me more about the minks.
oh, now he's pissed. He'd had enough.
All righty.
So yeah. Anyways,
Toyotas for scale.
Toyota.
Salmon Glacier. It's
Yeah.
big.
It is very large. So we had done our little exploration of that area, and but some lady, not the Germans, but some other lady, had had told me about another spot where a glacier might be that you could hike to. By this time, Liz was, I think you were a little burnt out
It was
on the
up
whole
there
day.
already.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was like, this was probably 3 or 4 p.m. We got back to that viewpoint, and I saw some people coming down over the hill, and that's kind of where I was. Liz was driving. I'm in the passenger seat. I got the map out. I got Gaia, and I'm trying to spot this place that this lady might have been talking about. Okay. And we get back up to the viewpoint. Like I said, there were some people coming down over the hill. I was like, that's got to be it. So I approached them and I said, hey, is there a glacier up on top of that hill? And they're like, yeah, but I mean, it's quite a hike. And he pulled out his phone and he showed me like a picture of him standing with, his arms like up in the air, and there's like this glacier behind him. So I was like, all right, looks like I'm going up this hill and I'm going to check this out, because the last thing I want to do is leave this place without stepping on a glacier. I wanted to walk on a glacier, So I went back to the truck, told Liz that I was going to take off. I think you were pretty much like, no, I'm not going. I'm just going to stay in the truck.
I didn't want to go.
So I didn't.
Dangerous.
Yeah, it is. It's my middle name. And
I was tired.
Yeah.
Like, no, you just go. It's fine.
She was happy to take a nap in the truck while I hiked. It was a pretty tough hike, actually. It was, I mean, it was brutal. In fact, once I got over the first hump, it was very rocky. You could clearly see the glacier had once been there, because a lot of the rocks have been scraped. They've been worn down by the glacier, and then all the deposited rocks that had been carrying they just dropped. So like it was really, really rocky, loose rock. And then you could see all the glaciated rock. I don't know what you call that. I forget the name of it. But so anyways, I get, it just seemed like, oh, it's got to be over the next hump. It's got to be over the next hump. And I just kept going up and up and up. And by this time, I'm sweating my balls off. I get about halfway up and I'm like, I better take a picture of like the ridge where I came up so I can kind of eyeball it when I'm coming back.
Yeah.
I go to reach for my phone. I have no phone. Then I look at my camera. I was just going to take a picture with my camera, and my camera had 15% left.
Oh no.
And I'm going on this like adventure, and I have no phone and barely any battery in the camera.
Yeah.
So I panicked, and I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna make the best of it. If I have to enjoy this by myself with no electronics, I'm gonna do it. And so hauled ass, because I knew that Liz was waiting back in the truck for me. And I was kind of challenging myself. I'm like, how fast can I get up there? Because this dude was like, it'll take you like 2 hours. And I'm like, okay, I can do it in 45. I bet you. It took me 52 minutes to get up to the top.
Whoa, you're hustling.
Yeah.
That's the powder hound I know.
He's a total speed demon. He regularly just leaves me behind. I see open trail ahead of me, and I have to go. I want my heart rate to go up. I want to be sweating. Like I want to feel like I'm working out.
Yep.
So yeah, I'm just hustling. So I get to the top, and finally I see this glacier, and I'm like, I've got the chills. I can't believe what I'm looking at. I'm this close to it. Oh, and this is actually after I had crossed 3 streams, got wet. My left foot got dunked in one, because we're talking like I had a running start. It was the only way to get from point A to point B.
Yeah.
I didn't see any easier way. So yeah, foot wet. I finally get to like the lake that it's creating. This glacier is creating a lake up there. And there's one more stream crossing. Did a full-on hurdle, like 10 feet across this damn thing. Landed on the other side. Got my other foot wet. So I got two soaking wet boots.
Oh man.
And
Sure, that water's not cold at all on your toes.
No,
not at
it
all.
was
No,
it was like
not at
in the
all.
Caribbean. It was great.
That blue water means
Yeah.
it's nice and warm, right?
It was blue. Yeah, exactly. So at this point I'm like, it's just overwhelmed with excitement.
Sure.
And I get up to the glacier and I'm just putting my hand on it. I'm just feeling this thing. And
Mhm.
we've been close to glaciers, but we'd never been like on one,
Yeah.
And I looked right. Well, I mean, I had already seen it, but it was like this tunnel that I could
Mhm.
clearly walk into. And I'm like, I'm
Yeah.
definitely going in there. I came all the way up here,
Yeah.
worked so hard.
Yeah.
I am definitely stepping foot in there.
I'm
And
doing
I mean,
it. It's gotta
it's
happen.
like 80 degrees still. I don't know. It wasn't 80 degrees up there, but it was pretty warm. So the
Yeah.
glacier is melting. There's water just, dripping off of it. I'm like getting water on my camera and shit. I
Mhm.
finally get inside the glacier, and like I said, I knew I only had like 10 to 15% on my camera, on my battery.
Yeah.
And it's like, I got to make the most of this. So I turn it around and like, I'm recording myself and I'm like in tears because I'm just like so excited about
Sure.
what I'm doing right now. I'm like inside a glacier.
Yeah.
And, by the time I finished saying what I was saying, which I'll never show anybody because it was kind of an intimate moment for myself.
Sure. Yeah.
But I spent another 10, 15 minutes inside this like tunnel,
Yeah.
that a stream had created over time. And it was just magical, man. It was just the
Mm.
blue inside with the sun peeking through, all that ice was just incredible. In fact, you know what? I'll try to share this.
That's
So
I mean,
startling.
that's just
Took a poo.
from all the conversations we've had leading up to this point. Like it feels like almost like I don't know if I call it an aha moment, but like definitely like was this the I've made it moment, like I'm in it kind of a thing, with all the travel, all the planning, all of the movement to get to Alaska, right? And you find yourself hanging out inside a glacier.
This was definitely the moment I knew it was real. I was like, we're definitely in Alaska.
Nice.
I'm standing
Wow.
inside a fucking glacier. It was crazy.
Yeah.
Like I said, I mean, I had a moment with myself, and like I said, I'll probably never show anybody the video that I took. It was like kind of a
Mhm.
talking head thing, just pointing the camera back at my face, and I don't even know what I said. I can't remember at this point. I kind of was just on a high.
Mhm.
I was just spitting out whatever was on my brain,
Nice.
Wow.
So can you guys see my screen yet?
Yeah.
Yeah.
See
Yeah.
that? Okay, so that's where I had already crossed. What we're looking at here is that lake that I was talking about. To the right of it was where all the water empties out and goes down the valley. That's where I had to jump over and got my feet wet. That's the only way to get to this side is to jump over that part of the stream.
Mhm.
The guy that showed me the video didn't go that far. He was way off to the right.
Pussy.
Mm.
And he, yeah, exactly. He actually even told me, he's like, if you want to, you could probably get over there. And he's like, well, we didn't do that. I said, I'm fucking going.
Yeah. I know
Um,
what that does.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, I mean, I entered it right around this first little glacier there. Actually, that's probably not even glacier. That's probably last year's snow just sitting right in
Mhm.
front of the tunnel there. But, yeah, I walked around and
Oh my gosh.
yeah,
Those look awesome.
Whoa.
yeah. So this is, I mean, there's looking back up through the tunnel and those blues there. I mean, this is unedited. I have not
Jeez.
edited
Wow.
that photo. That is
Yeah,
just
that's
raw. That is a raw
crazy.
That's
photo.
amazing. I mean, if you're on YouTube Live right now, you're getting a treat. I mean, these
Yeah.
freaking pictures are amazing.
Wow. That's nuts.
And the scale's kind of weird because there's nothing else there to tell you what to give you a scale there, but that's probably, you're standing in the water below there, it's probably 30-40 feet to the top.
Oh wow, that's
Yeah.
tall. Wow. Yeah, I was gonna say it was like 10 or 12 feet, but oh man, that's crazy.
It's crazy to see the formations that come off the ice too, like in a normal cave, right? You have
Yeah.
like it comes down to drips. It's wild.
Yeah. So that was a real moment. Like you said, that was when I knew it was real.
Well, you're seeing a million years in the past. That's what
Yeah.
those are, right? Like you're
Right.
literally looking into the past when you see and touch that stuff.
Been there.
That's
for
incredible.
So long.
Yeah, 10,000 some years
Yeah,
at least.
that's crazy, dude.
But yeah, then we went back. After. Oh wait, there's more to that. There is more to that. So I was yeah. Yeah, exactly. Liz just wrote a list of all the stops we needed to talk about, and I'm like, oh shit, there's so much more. But this one, okay, so wait, I'll do this quickly. So I took my backpack off to do my camera thing. I had all the gear in there, so I knew I was going to be hauling ass up this hill, so I put everything in the backpack.
Yeah.
When I got up there, I took it off, took the camera out, and I left my backpack outside. And after I was done doing my thing inside the glacier, I walk out, I put the backpack on, I put the camera back in, started hauling ass back down, and I took a different route. I was like, maybe if I go this way, I won't have to cross so many streams. And I get about, I don't know, 15 minutes back down the hill, and I realized that I didn't have my bear spray. And I was like, which I knew that I hooked on prior to coming up. I knew it was on me. So
yes.
Well, you had just gotten done taking pictures of a bunch of bears eating fish.
Exactly.
Right?
Yes, exactly. I was like, when I realized it was gone, I was like, okay, I got to make a decision here. Do I want to wait and leave $60 sitting back up there and then risk running into a bear on the way back? Or should I go back and do it? So I made the decision to go back, had to go all the way back up the hill again. I crossed another stream, kind of got off track a little bit too. And there it was, the fucking bear spray was right where I took my backpack off. Yeah. So that added another 40 minutes to my whole round trip. And finally I did get back down to Liz. And we did stop back at the bear observation deck again, because once you buy a ticket, you get it for the whole day. It's like $10 too. It was like, very no reason not to buy it, if you're there. But yeah, we stopped twice. I think there was another brown bear there, and then we saw 2 black bear that evening as well.
Still early over there in California. What are you doing yawning?
Late nights, early mornings.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I was just trying. I'm thinking we got Haynes. Oh yeah, so Haynes was next on our list of places, but we were going to spend. We had planned on spending like a week or 2 there. I think we settled on 2, but anyway, so you're like, let me stop for a second. You're like settling in places now, right? We're kind of we're getting out of the overlanding and more into the true setting of we're going to stay here for at least a few days and take in a location. Exactly. Good question, because like we were talking about before, all the stops to get us from like Jasper and that area over there to here have been like overnighters, just find a camp spot, and we're waking up the next morning and moving again.
Yeah.
Once we got to Haynes, and between Hyder and Haynes is another couple days. Believe it or not.
Wow.
What's our date time frame? We October.
Okay, so we got to Haynes on 8/27.
Okay, so you're okay. Wow, you're end of October When does winter start in Alaska? Like, when is it like winter is here? Game of Thrones shit, like winter.
I don't know exactly when it goes like negative degrees, but we knew we wanted to be out of there. We knew we wanted to be out of there before the real winter hit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When
was
did we
fall like already? You know, it was fall pretty much as soon as we crossed into Canada. It felt like fall, just like the light was different, and then from Alaska on, it, you know, it never got. I think towards the end of our time in Alaska, it was dipping into the 30s,
Yeah.
maybe even low 30s at night. But truthfully, it wasn't really that cold yet, but it felt cold for the time of year because it was August.
Nice.
You
Nice.
know, like, okay, the high is in the 40s today and it's August. So that feels very strange as a southerner. And even to Russ, you know, it's not 40 degrees in Pennsylvania in August either. So we feel like we had been in winter basically ever. As soon as we
Y'all had a
stepped
long
foot in
winter.
Alaska, we did. We have.
Yeah, so I just checked my notes. We left Alaska around October 7th, maybe.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Okay.
And it was getting dicey at that point.
Ooh.
It was getting dicey. So
Yeah.
So
It
you're
started
end
to
of
feel like
August.
stormier,
yeah.
Oh,
if that
like
makes
like you might
sense.
get stuck there if you don't make a move.
Yeah, just the
Yeah.
weather was getting angrier, more
Yeah, the
irritating
sky
in
the sky looked
general.
angrier.
Lots
The
Yeah.
more wind, tumultuous.
yeah.
Yeah. So, but hey, I'm jumping ahead. I'll bring it back here. So we're end of August. You've gotten into Haines, and as you were coming back in, Liz, we were talking about how y'all kind of switched from pure nomadic to kind of setting up some camp
Mhm.
and, you know, really enjoying the areas that you're visiting and you've kind of traveled so far to get to.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Haines was one of those spots where we knew we wanted to spend a little time there. It was a good
Yeah.
time of the year with the salmon run. We might see some wildlife activity. And also what else was about Haines that we were like, we definitely need to camp there for 2 weeks or whatever.
I don't know. I didn't think we were going to be there 2 weeks, but we ended up meeting someone and became like BFF with this person and practically moved into her apartment while we were there. So sometimes Russ and I have a different recollection of why. I thought that's kind of why we ended up staying longer, because we just loved her so much. She's a fellow Tacoma owner. Russ can go into this story if he wants, but we met her through a connection who gave us this podcasting equipment actually. And then we kind of randomly met her on accident, even though we had already been given her information. We ran into her at the local brewery. It's a tough word. In Haines, and Rebecca, is awesome, and we're still in touch with her and have seen her since. But
Awesome.
I don't really recall knowing a lot about Haines going into it, except that it had like a cute little town, and we thought,
well, it's by Juneau, so we had plans like maybe we could go to Juneau.
take a ferry.
Yeah, maybe we could take a ferry to Juneau. It's near Skagway, so you can go. It's a tour. That's a very touristy town. That's where a lot of
Cruise ships
the cruise
stop.
ships stop. Yeah.
Awesome.
So yeah, there were I don't know. I think there was just it's just a juxtaposition kind of area where there's a lot
Sure.
going on, and figured that'd be a good spot to start it off. In fact, I know what it was.
We
I was
saw
like,
Haines and
I think what it was like, okay, maybe Haines is as far as we want to go, because if we want to go into the interior, it's a lot longer of a trip.
there was that in the very beginning when we were talking about Alaska. I think we thought we might only go as far as Haines.
Yeah.
And we had seen, I don't know if anyone watches or follows Bound for Nowhere.
Oh yeah, I love them. Yeah.
Yeah.
They had been to Haines,
Mhm.
and they had this full-on like Alaska expedition. That was the first I'd even heard of it. I wasn't really up on my Alaska geography, I'll be honest. But Haines is a cool town.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
a
yeah.
port town.
Yeah, it's a port
It's a
town.
port town, but it's not your average port town. It doesn't feel like Skagway, like
No
doesn't have
offense
that
to
vibe at
Skagway,
all.
But yeah.
Yeah, it has this little, Alaska town feel to it.
Yeah.
Um,
Like, it is a tourist place, but it doesn't feel like it only exists to serve cruise ship passengers.
Yeah.
yeah, it had a vibe. It was its own vibe.
Yeah, it's very beautiful. I mean, there's a lot to do there. It was mostly raining and overcast and cloudy the entire time we were there.
Yeah, on occasion, like the clouds would just part, and then we realized we were completely surrounded 360 degrees in massive mountains that you couldn't see any other time except for when they just broke, and then you're like, holy
strange.
shit, there's snow-covered mountains all around us. Otherwise, yeah, like Liz said, it was pretty rainy. There were we saw a million rainbows.
Rainy, cloudy, drizzly. Yeah, it was like the city of rainbows. We started seeing I bet we saw 40 bald eagles while we were there.
Wow.
That's cool.
I mean,
yeah. So what were y'all doing in Haines? What was the
well, like I said, the first day, well, like Liz said, the first day we got there. What's that?
I think LJ might have stepped away.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll recap real quick. The first day we got there, so my buddy from Tuscaloosa that I got all this podcast gear from had recommended this that I reach out to this person. She lived in Haines, and she had a second gen Tacoma with the GFC camper on it. And I was like, cool, we'll reach out to her when we get there. And we were grocery shopping across the street from the brewery. After we were done grocery shopping, I was like, we're getting a beer. We just got to Haines. We were officially like locked into Alaska. And we went over, got a beer, and sat down. I think we were 2 beers in, which we weren't staying much longer than that. And I heard somebody over my shoulder say, hey, help yourself, and like lay this like,
please have some of this cookie cake.
Yeah, it was a cookie cake. She laid it on the table behind us, and I turned around and was like, look at this. This is like, it's like a Cheers here. And everybody knows everybody. There, some random person came in here and offered everybody else food. It was kind of cool. And I took note of.
Over to us, even was like, "Do you want some cake?
Yeah,
help yourself. Have some cake."
So this person looked familiar. So I looked back at the Instagram account that my buddy sent me, and it was her.
Whoa!
I mean, I'm not even kidding you.
Just what are the chances?
Yeah.
Well, maybe if you're
completely random.
But
well, yeah, it's no hider with 12. But
I was gonna say the chances are pretty high there.
Yeah. But so I went over to her, and I had my phone in my hand, and I'm like, tap her on the shoulder, and the first thing I said was, "Is this you?" Because I was just like, I couldn't think of anything else better to say.
Up. Is this you?
She's like, what the fuck is this guy doing? How does he know me? And I was like, you're never gonna believe this, but my buddy from Tuscaloosa, blah blah blah, and I told her the whole story, and like Liz said. We became very good friends with them, her and her boyfriend Beardsley, very quickly. And we ended up, they offered their place to us. They offered, Wi-Fi and laundry and all that stuff to us. And it just really worked out. They're great people. And as Liz said, we actually spent time with them again in Seattle later in our trip, which was really awesome.
That's cool.
And also, I think a unique point to also maybe why we bonded a little bit so much was, I mean, they did have the Tacoma in common and all of that, but she left Georgia to just start a whole new life, basically, in Alaska, or a new chapter, let's say. She just wasn't exactly like happy in Georgia and had always dreamed of doing that. And she lived out of her Tacoma and the GC for like 4.5 months.
Cool. Yeah.
Traveling. So she's, had done the kind of nomadic thing.
Sure.
And so we had all of that to just bond and commiserate over. And it was she's, we talk a lot about, we already have met some pretty special people on our trip that we think we will have lifelong friendships with, and I mean, Rebecca's number one. I mean, we both just said that the other day. And it's just, I don't know, the people you meet has been one of the most, I mean, I knew we would meet people, but it's been kind of surprising in some ways.
Well, I think that that's a bigger point that I think should be kind of explored, because when y'all started this trip, one of the things that I said is like, what y'all are doing there is extraordinary, right? Like, it's not commonplace to leave everything that you're comfortable with and everything that and start exploring the world we inhabit, right? And so I think, and then once you find people that have done something similar to that, there's an immediate connection, right? There's like an immediate understanding fundamentally of like, there's a lot of struggles in trying to figure out where to go next and who to talk to and how to get there. And there's that common ground between travelers that is just unexplainable. And so I think that's why, I'm sure there's more reasons why, the person that you ran up to said, "Is this you?" on an Instagram, but why you guys connected so well, because fundamentally you had this deeply rooted connection that, even though you guys have never crossed paths in the past, you understood each other, which is so special.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
She got it pretty quickly. She understood. She's like, "Oh,
Yeah.
I get it." Yeah.
Yeah.
let's invite these crazy people over for dinner or something like that.
They're good people. He just ran up to me with an Instagram post, but they're good people.
No, it was great. It was really, like you said, those bonds that we've made with certain people. I mean,
definitely.
What about LJ? What about like Brendan from Tahoe?
I was about to say, Russ, I like to think I'm good with people, but like Russ knows how to meet good people. We were out in Lake Tahoe, and all of a sudden Russ comes around the corner with this 6'4" Canadian in a one-piece Canadian 1970 ski suit.
It's a Canadian Air Force suit.
Yeah. Like, and the dude's awesome. Like, we ran around with him the next 2 days and drank beers, chased powder, and had a great time. And so I'm not surprised at this point. Like, after hanging out with Russ a few weeks ago in Tahoe for a week, I'm not surprised he just met somebody in the middle of Alaska and they moved in for 2 weeks. Like, does not surprise me at all.
Makes sense. Yeah.
I'm like, that checks out. That sounds like some shit Russ would do. I bet it was great. I bet they had a blast for that 2 weeks too.
Oh man. I mean,
we did.
We actually had moved the camper right like down the street. Parked on the side of the road, right by their house, just so we could be close to them.
Yeah, we'd be like, all right, what time should we come over in the morning? And she'd be like, oh, well, like 9's good. I'll make. I mean, she'd make us she's just, I mean, the consummate host too.
Yeah,
we can't say enough good things about her, but she was really the highlight of Haynes, because it was really I don't know, just an amazing thing that we met her, and the friendship the three of us now have, and Beardsley too. We didn't get to spend as much time with him because he doesn't work remote. He was out at the house more and stuff. But Haynes also itself was very beautiful. We had more bears there at a site there.
We saw more
nature.
We saw more bears, mothers and cubs than anywhere else in Alaska.
Cool.
In Haynes.
They would come down on the Chilkoot or Chilkat.
That was the Chilkoot. Yeah.
They had the weir, which is a contraption to slow
Here, hold on, I
or
gotta-
count the fish.
So what she's talking about, trying to talk about here, is it's called a weir, and it's a mechanical device that they put across the stream,
Mhm.
and you see these little. Am I sharing?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
see it.
So you see all
Fish
these
can't
little
jump.
bars. Yeah, well, yeah. So it
Some-
funnels them
yeah.
into an area that they have to swim through so they can count how many fish are going upstream.
Mm.
And the
Ah.
bears caught on to this, so they're like, "Oh,
They go
how
fishing
convenient!"
here. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mama comes fishing here.
Yeah. So, and the eagles do
Oh,
too.
I'm sorry. Yes, and
So-
the eagles.
Yeah. So the bears just like
Okay.
cross the road right down the street from you. Look, there's people right behind them.
Idiots.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh wow.
Yeah, they just come out of the woods and they just walk right across this weir and they get in the water and they just pluck these fish right out. And then the mother just pops them up to their cubs,
Mm.
has a few herself.
Yeah. Gives them her scraps.
Yeah.
Yep.
The seagulls
Oh,
are there
and they
waiting
walk on
too.
it. It's like a fence
Yeah.
for them too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's
That's
actually
so
a
cool.
walkway behind that.
The
For sure.
Forest Service, I guess, or the Fish and Wildlife, Fish and Game.
Yeah.
They are managing and trying to track the salmon populations and all
Sure.
of that. So they have access. They're the only humans who are supposed to cross that bridge. Although we did see a few people,
Yikes.
being idiots, not necessarily walking on it, but just total disregard for.
Man.
These are good grizzlies,
No.
brown bears, whatever you want to call them. But oh, what?
Yeah,
Not
I actually
supposed to
yelled
do
at one
that?
dude. One dude was literally standing right at the end of the weir, and there were two brown bears trying to come down the hill. And I'm like,
Jeez.
bro, there's a bear behind you. And I like had to take a step towards him to tell him because he just
Oh.
didn't get it. I'm like, dude, you need to move because a bear's about to come down here and step out onto this thing.
Because they would
And
just come
eat
down
you.
from the mountain, like
Mhm.
and just the mountainside is just right here, and then there's the road, and they just cross, and they just like appear out of nowhere coming down the mountain.
Yeah.
This forested, you can't see, just all of a sudden
Sure.
there's bears crossing the road in the crosswalk.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Well, that's nice
Was
that they use a crosswalk.
I guess, yeah.
Yeah.
That's considerate of them.
They're smart.
They
Well
actually
done.
built
Well done.
actually just they built that area up to accommodate more traffic because people were
Mhm.
driving through and walking. So they put like a little standing area that you're supposed to stay in.
Yeah.
But the rangers really weren't doing a very good job of controlling that, and
Mm.
it was
Everyone
an
wanders closer.
it was a complaint even I had as a
Yeah.
visitor, was like, these people are just putting themselves in danger. They're not making it easy for the bears to do what they need to do.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
Hmm.
It was the situation for sure.
Can
Um,
imagine.
Yeah.
But where did we go next? We done with Haynes? Haynes. Oh, you know what? You know what else we did in Haynes too? We met Julian and Lise.
We did meet Julian.
Julian works for Hip Camp. You
Oh,
guys are familiar
cool.
with
Yep.
Hip Camp?
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
So he's one of the originals. He's been with Hip Camp for a long time, and the only reason why I'm bringing it up is because it will come full circle. In 2 weeks, we're actually going to see them again. We did hang with them in Alaska in Haines, but we are going to see them again on the 28th because we're going to Baja with them for like 3 weeks.
Yeah.
We're going to tour Baja, California with them.
That's awesome.
So anyways, yeah.
Ah,
Aha.
Nice.
We're going to do the Baja 500.
Oh, good luck. You better not take the Tacoma. I wouldn't take my Land Cruiser
Last-
on it either.
Yeah, it wouldn't last 10 minutes.
Oh man.
So, where did we go? Haynes, and then
Oh, I have it right here.
where you have it? You already have it written? Oh, look at that.
Remember?
Haynes, we went to let's see.
Denali.
Yeah, we had to cross the border again, and then
Wow.
cross the border again, because you go into Yukon.
Mm-hmm.
You go into the Yukon, you have to cross in and then cross back. So then we stopped in Tok, and then went south from Delta Junction, and then took the Denali Highway. The Denali
cool.
Highway was on the list of things that you have to do when you go there, especially if you're an overlander.
Yeah.
Maybe not advisable with a trailer that we had, but nevertheless,
It worked out.
we had to choose one of two routes, and one
Mhm.
and one seemed better than the other, so we picked the Denali Highway. We almost ran out of gas. We got our first flat tire on the Denali
Ooh.
Highway.
On the camper.
Yeah, on the camper, right? Which it wasn't a
Okay.
disaster. It actually couldn't have happened at a better place than it did.
Mhm.
We weren't moving when we realized it. In fact, another truck came up beside us and was like, "Hey, you guys realize you have a flat tire, right?" And
Yeah, we
we're
didn't
like,
even know.
"What?"
Oh wow, that's
We-
good
we
luck.
just happened
Good
to-
timing.
Yeah, we were stopping to take some photos, and the guy pulled up next to us. But then, like right up the road was a nice huge flat pullout, and we were like,
Mhm.
"Okay, this is perfect." So took us all of 30 minutes or so, 40 minutes to
Nice.
plug the tire, and that was it. Back on the road. But we
You
finished the
plugged it.
Denali.
You didn't even change it. You just plugged it.
I plugged it.
That's awesome. So I
Nice.
wonder, that would be something cool to learn from our listeners, is like how many folks know how to plug a tire.
Yeah. that
Right.
would be
I've got a
cool
plug
poll.
kit.
Yeah.
And I've watched a couple videos on it, but I've never actually plugged a tire. Like have y'all plugged a tire, you guys?
I've plugged a tire.
I've never
You
had
plugged
to
a tire?
plug a
Okay,
tire.
so we got a 50% ratio of tire pluggers here. But like, I mean, that's pretty impressive, I must say. So you plugged it, aired it up, like you're good to go after that.
It looks easier than changing a tire. Says the person who doesn't do either. Just saying. I feel like it would be a good thing to know and get a kit. Yeah, like I'm on board. I agree, LJ.
Here, let me.
I carry a kit now. I'm gonna hope Russ is with me whenever I have to use it, so I have someone that's done it before.
You stick it in and pull it out.
I've plugged
What
numerous
was that,
tires.
Jeff?
Just talking about how do you plug a tire.
Yeah, I've plugged numerous tires.
You disconnected the trailer?
Yeah, we did.
You have to.
Because I think I
to do
needed it because of
some-
the onboard air doesn't. Well, it could have reached, but I don't know. I don't remember why I did that.
Because you had to. Isn't it because you had to jack up the trailer?
Yeah, we didn't
Airline.
necessarily need to. We didn't
Your
necessarily.
airline doesn't look quite long enough that you used to go from where your
I have-
compressor looks to
Side
be.
passenger side.
But I have an extra one though. Like I
Nice.
have a longer one. I just don't remember why I did it. But that was Liz at the
photos?
helm here.
It's
Yeah.
okay to say it.
Yeah, I think you said it. You want to get the motorcycle in the truck with the
It
taco
looked
plate.
great. It's like, I mean,
I think there was a valid reason.
That I don't remember.
dude, we need to get this to the company that makes your tire plugs
Can you
and make sure
jack
they
the-
understand
the
how epic
trailer
their
up?
plugs are.
When
Yeah,
it's on the hitch.
I want to say it was like a Harbor Freight kit. So
Hey, it
nice.
doesn't matter. I got
Hey,
the
I get
Walmart
it.
slime kit and it's perfect.
I mean, it worked. We didn't have any other issues with it. I don't think until we got
Until it
like
exploded.
it was like way later.
I know.
You left that part out.
It didn't have
Oh,
anything to
man.
do
It
with the plug.
didn't.
Okay.
It was a long time
Yeah.
after.
Okay.
But it was
if it
funny
wasn't
to
in
say.
Alaska, it's not pertinent to right now.
Yeah, I mean, Alaska was the worst of it, man. The roads there are horrendous.
Yeah, the Denali Highway is just like a gravel trail.
There it is.
Oh
Okay,
wow,
it's
that's the
horrible.
road.
That's the
Yeah.
road.
I mean, that's gorgeous.
You know,
You
people
need-
call
Yeah.
that people go find those roads around here and call it
Mhm.
overlanding.
Yeah,
Seen 'em.
yeah.
You've
This
never
ton of
seen
Subarus.
Those potholes
like
would
this.
swallow a Prius.
Yeah.
And not
This
if they
is-
were lifted. I've seen the lifted ones. They won't swallow those up.
Those things are pretty badass.
They are.
Yeah.
That's
I
beautiful, dude. Like,
I
I'm
daily
just
want
seeing
it.
the layers
Awesome.
of this photograph. Like the
Mhm.
longer I look at it, I'm like, oh yeah, there's the mountains, and there's this and that.
That's snow,
And
not clouds. Oh, okay.
yeah, isn't it crazy how like it's what a great picture, man. Golly.
Highly recommend
The-
the Denali Highway. I mean, we were there in fall, so there was a lot of color.
Mm.
Absolutely beautiful. You know, I know summer is a popular time to visit. I think that would be fun to see sometime too. But just the color was just, I don't know. It just
Oh,
felt
wow.
like seeing something that not everyone who's been to Alaska gets to see. This is
Mhm.
already like the end of their tourist season. Like everything pretty much closes September 15th.
Mm.
Um, you know, campgrounds are closing. It's just kind of crazy because to us and to me, you know, September still feel like that would be prime camping weather or
Mhm.
outdoors weather, and
It's
everything's
football season.
closing. Yes, it is football season. But it was just absolutely, I mean, it was just so beautiful. Just this drive, and it's not a difficult drive except the potholes. I mean, it's in bad condition. But not the worst road we saw in Alaska, surprisingly, but highly recommend it. Like I said, it's not hard. You know, you can do it in a, just your basic sedan. Just watch out for the potholes.
Yeah, the
but
potholes. It's more of a dodging thing than it
Yeah,
is
yeah.
like, you know.
It's so beautiful though.
Yeah, this spot, actually, this picture here for your watchers. This is the one location on the Denali Highway that you can actually see Denali.
Oh yeah.
Although you cannot see Denali here, it is
Okay.
covered up in clouds up in this area.
Wow.
Always.
But yeah, it on a clear day you can see Denali here.
We've
Wow.
been told.
Yeah, so we've been told. Yeah.
I didn't see Denali the entire time when she was in view. Russ saw it once, and yes, I was with him, but I couldn't make heads or tails of what I was seeing. But I think they say they refer to her as a she.
Yeah.
Shows, you know, herself like 3 or 4 days a month, maybe.
Wow.
So
wow.
yeah, just the clouds. You know, it's like 20,000 something feet up. So
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 20,310.
Mhm.
Wow.
It
she's a big
shrunk
girl.
10 feet
Insane.
over the last couple decades.
Shrunk?
That's what it
Really?
says.
Hmm.
Shrunk 10 feet.
Oh,
I thought it,
Maybe
yeah,
not.
I thought it was one of those really, really slow growing mountains, but I guess I was wrong. Guess I heard
It
wrong.
was measured in 1950s. So the
Oh,
technology
how
in the
accurate
50s versus now
Yeah.
is, that's said to
Yeah.
interesting.
Mm.
Crazy.
So Denali, the Denali Highway obviously takes you towards Denali. If you're going that way west. After we finished the highway, our plan was to spend a couple days exploring and learning about Denali and the park and the wilderness there. So we did go in to the. I was trying to think. The first night we actually stayed on the end of the highway, the Denali Highway. Excuse me. And then the next day, I think we moved inside the park
Mm-hmm.
to like a campground that can accommodate RVs, obviously. And then we did the bus tour there, which was, I'm not a bus tour kind of guy. But
Your taco says different. No, I'm kidding.
but yeah, we decided to do the bus tour. And it was, I could see if there was maybe better weather, a different time of the season, it might be incredible because of the wildlife.
Yeah, so the interesting thing about the bus tour is you can only drive a vehicle so far within the park. and they don't.
Yeah.
He confirmed he could hear me. Because they want to keep it as wild as possible.
Yeah.
I forget the mileage, but you can't, drive your own vehicle however many miles in the park. If you want to go further by vehicle, you have to take one of the Denali bus tours, and you can. There is hiking and stuff too, of course, but there's not that many like actual trails in Denali. It's
Mhm.
more just wild, just straight backcountry hiking and stuff. And just with the time of year, we did do a hike there, but with the time of year, temperatures being a little bit unpredictable and wildlife on the move, bears are fattening up for hibernation. They're a little bit more hostile during that time. We just
Yeah.
didn't think a backcountry backpacking trip were in the cards for us. So we opted to do the bus tour, which is highly recommended. It's been around for a long time. It's not just any old bus tour, I guess, if we're gonna categorize our bus tours. um so yeah, we ponied up the money. It was a bit of an expense for us, not really having our full-time employment right now, but we thought it was worth it, and it was worth it. It was very beautiful.
Mhm.
One of the big, I guess, rewards of the tour is supposed to be wildlife.
Mhm.
We had seen a lot, so we had been lucky, and maybe we were expecting, and maybe that spoiled us a little. We had seen a lot of bears. I mean, we'd seen bears just on the highway. We just passed a grizzly like in the Yukon. We had
Mhm.
seen a lot of moose at this point, and we didn't really see anything on the bus tour. We did see some moose, which is exciting. But I guess, like I said, we had been a little bit spoiled, and maybe we're hoping for more bears.
Mhm.
There's a wolf pack that lives there. Super
Cool.
rare to
Oh,
see a
nice.
wolf, period. But I mean, there's always this hope. Oh, maybe you'll see, maybe you'll
Yeah.
just see a wolf right by the bus tour trail. Um, and we didn't really see any of that, but it
Mm.
was really pretty, and it snowed, which was exciting. I mean, Russ was really jazzed for that was the first snow I think we'd seen, but you climb an elevation in the bus tour, and it started snowing, so that was
Mhm.
kind of fun. It was, I think, September 17th. So just
Wow. That's
September.
early.
Yeah, and Denali actually doesn't get that much snow, they told us. Not at least according to Alaska standards.
Yeah.
So that was a
Hmm.
really early snowfall for them, but I think it just added to the, I don't know, allure of the whole scene, just being
Mhm.
fall in Denali and snowfall in the bus. It was kind of magical.
I've got some numbers of the wildlife that we saw on the
Okay.
tour.
Ooh.
One animal that she did forget to mention
Oh, no.
was the doll sheep. Did you mention the doll
Oh,
sheep?
no, I didn't.
So the wolves are a big thing there in Denali.
Mhm.
In fact, one of the main reasons why the road even exists is because of the scientist or explorer that was studying the wolf pack.
Adolf.
Yeah, what the heck was his name? Do you know it?
Nope, I just remember.
Does he have a
It was
mustache?
Adolf.
Adolf
Sorry,
starts
I
with
couldn't
an
help
M.
myself.
Hold on.
Murray.
I might have I don't know. I don't have it written down. But anyways,
Murray.
Murray.
Well,
So anyways,
sorry, I couldn't hear that, Liz. What was that?
Mary.
So what
That's
was Adolf doing? Sorry, I've lost my train of thought completely.
Well, he's no longer with us, but he was a wolf researcher, biologist.
yeah, biologist.
Mm.
But
Okay.
anyway, I think the doll sheep had a lot to do with that. That was a main food source too.
Yeah,
or something.
I actually feel bad for not having mentioned the doll sheep, because they're called the flag. They're like a flagship species of the park. They have a
Oh,
special,
cool.
they're like Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
They're like a big
They're
deal
really
there.
only. Mhm.
Yeah.
That's
Flagship
cool.
or Keystone. There was some like strong word.
While Liz
Well,
talks,
they're unique to
thinks of
that
that word.
area. Is that what?
Yeah.
Okay.
We saw, I think we saw 2 packs of doll sheep.
Wow.
Packs. I don't
How
know what
many
herds.
how many sheep are in a herd?
There were 6 in the first one and then 9 in the second.
Which was a nursery group.
Yeah, nursery group. So it's
Which
just
is
females
it's
and
females and some young. So that's
Mhm.
like a little nursery group.
Mhm.
And then the males are off, being dicks.
I feel like we
probably.
can't do a podcast again without Elliot mentioned when we start the podcast, because he's totally like, hey yo, I'm in this. Yeah, we're talking about animals. We're talking about animals. Y'all don't even talk about your boy.
Kitty.
wild animals.
Elliot.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah, he listens
I
too.
love
So,
it.
Come here.
He's just
you're
like, yeah, I
in-
live here too. What's up?
You were in
yeah. So that's
Denali. That's where Into the Wild. You know that famous picture of the bus and the not necessarily the
When we were
Explorer.
talking about not getting stuck in the winter, I was like, you don't want to be a Evan McCandless and
Yeah,
get stuck up
that's
there.
where it was. up in the
Christopher
Denali.
McCandless.
Christopher
what it was?
McCandless.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
What was Supertramp?
Yeah, close.
Alexander
Supertramp.
Supertramp.
Yeah.
Great book. Russ attempted to reenact that scene on his own, by the way.
Yeah, I
Oh.
almost got super tramped.
No.
Yeah. Yeah.
Have we talked about that on the podcast before? I feel like we've talked about.
It was in Denali, so we shouldn't have.
Yeah,
unless
we
did a
shouldn't have.
jump.
Yeah, I just don't know if like at a random time like we did, but I guess not. So
Maybe,
hold on.
maybe.
First off, who's read the book?
I have the book in my truck. Actually, I
It's
keep it
so
with
good.
me.
has-
Oh, wait, I
love
read
it.
the book too. I read it.
Because
Yeah, yeah.
when you wanted to impress me when we were first dating.
Oh,
I read Wikipedia and Into the Wild.
I've just watched the movie. That's it. So I'm that guy. Jeff, do you know who we're talking about?
Pearl Jam did a
I know who you're talking about.
fantastic soundtrack.
I have not read the book.
Just Eddie Vedder.
I was just
Okay.
Eddie Vedder. Sorry.
Yeah,
Yeah.
good
So
soundtrack.
for who doesn't know, the guy sold all of his possessions, moved to Alaska, moved into this bus, couldn't get back across the river because it turned to winter, and
Sort of.
yeah. So we're glad that
perished.
didn't happen to y'all.
Yeah.
You got out of Alaska in time.
Yeah.
So from Denali, are you still moving somewhere in Alaska from there, or are we like starting to kind of get out of Alaska at this point? Because it sounds like we're probably
no.
getting close to.
We're in the middle.
Oh, you're in it. Okay.
Yeah. We just got to Alaska at this point. It felt like any
Nice.
when you give the grand scheme thing. But do you want to hear about how I got almost super trapped?
Yes. I have to
I mean,
hear. We have to hear that. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
took the I knew Stampede, so Stampede Trail is the road that he took.
Okay.
It's just north of Healy. I think it's Healy.
Mhm.
Just north, just outside of the town called
So
Healy.
you're
which is-
actively going down this path.
But he's off-roading. Christopher McCandless was hiking,
Yeah.
but they're in the same area. He was on Russ wanted to go off-road.
it was the
Wheel.
only the trail. I was on Gaia. I
What-
just
what
I
is
just
it?
scrolled around
What is this
Gaia.
in the background?
He
Sorry.
air quoted. What did you air quote?
Wheel.
Wheeling.
Wanted to
Was
go
it not wheeling?
Oh no, it was Wayland.
Because I've seen some stuff in Alaska. Alaska can get nasty.
Yeah,
Nasty.
yeah.
So sorry.
What you want to avoid is the tundra that's just full of mud. It's basically a swamp.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I found myself in, with no trees to winch to and no one around.
I opted not to go.
Mm.
Yeah.
I wanted to just
Oh, so you're by yourself.
So yeah,
yeah, he's by
I'll-
himself. I'm back at the campground, just enjoying myself in Denali National Park.
so
You're probably
yeah,
warm. Got some good heat.
yeah, all
Yeah.
the things.
I set out to go explore this trail. I had a 4-pack of tall boys. I don't remember what it was, but
Well, at least you had a
Sort
couple
of-
meals. You're good.
yeah, I did wait. I mean, come on, I did go prepared. I wasn't really that dumb. I did have a couple backpackers meals, plenty of water. Yeah, I mean, I was fully prepared to like, okay, if I get stuck overnight, I need to have some food and supplies.
Yeah.
And
But this
whatnot,
wasn't
so,
supposed to be like a problem trail per se.
um,
I mean, I read about it myself. It's actually not. It wasn't even open, but the problem you encountered had nothing to do with the difficulty of the trail. More so, just mud. Right.
yeah. Well, yeah, right. Okay, that's a good point. Yeah, I will be. Yeah, let me clarify. The trail was not difficult. It was just the terrain, right? That posed the issue. Once I got through the creek beds, actually I ran a creek bed for a couple miles, which is a lot of fun. You've got the sound, you've got, I don't know what it is about a creek bed, but they're just fun to run, right? I mean,
Yep.
up or down.
Well, especially
Exactly.
by yourself, like just cruising through a creek bed. Like, get out of town. Hell yeah. That's like the
Yeah.
dreams of a wheeler. Like, yeah, just put me in a creek bed by myself. Let's go.
Yeah.
Windrock's got a couple of those, and I always love running those trails up the creek beds.
I
So
go
I did that
back
for a while.
to Kentucky
Good.
for the creek bed runs myself. But yeah.
Yeah. So you know what I'm saying. It was a lot
Oh,
of
yeah.
fun. I was in the zone, just loving life, and all of a sudden the creek makes a 90-degree turn. There's a big, like, slow moving, deep pool looking thing that I knew I needed to go across because the trail just disappeared into that and then came up the other
Oh,
side.
man.
And I was like, okay. Slow water is
And you're
usually
in the creek. So it's not like you can like stop and cross and check things. Like you're in the creek, right? Like,
yeah, pretty much. I probably could have gotten out and grabbed a branch and checked the depth, but I didn't. I just saw there were enough tracks going across. I figured it wasn't that bad. So that wasn't the problem. I did cross. I don't have a snorkel or anything like that, but I definitely had water up on the hood.
I was going to ask, you snorkel?
No, I don't. I'm not a snorkel. What is it? Snorkel nerd or something like that.
Dorkel?
No, I never. Snorkel dork.
Dorkel?
That's what it is.
Dorkel
Snorkel
snort?
dork. A dorkel. Yeah. So I got up to the other side, and all of a sudden, like, the trees just disappeared. So I knew at that point I'm on the tundra. What was ahead looked like just some mud, which I wasn't thrilled about because I know how you can get stuck pretty easily in the mud. So I examined what was ahead of me. I picked one line, and no more than 10 feet in, all 4 tires sink. I high center on a big. I mean, somebody already got stuck in that exact same spot because my tire just went bloop, and I dropped down and I just worked myself into a even worse hole. And I hadn't seen anybody, not a soul, the entire day. Not another vehicle, not another person hiking. Well, except at the trailhead, and that was it. So I tried to get myself out. I actually set up the tripod and recorded this whole thing go down. And no more than maybe like after I said, I'm calling it, I'm going to walk out of here and leave the truck, or I'm just going to have to, stay in it. So I said, okay.
And there was no service.
Yeah, no service. No,
Like he had
nothing.
no service, and we had talked about sort of at what point, at what hour, am I supposed to get worried? Like before he left, because I knew there wasn't going to be service out there. And I think you're like, well, I should be back by 8, and I was like, 10. Let's say 10. If you're not back by 10, And this was, I don't remember exactly what time you were leaving, but it was early. But I just also know how he is. And I mean, 10, like not
Yeah.
8, 10, you know. So I imagine you were thinking, there was some of that too.
Yeah,
Like if I'm staying in here, I'm gonna be in here all night. And
Yeah, it was either a
there's no,
sleepover or I was going to walk out and hopefully run into somebody that could get me in contact with Liz just to let her know that I'm good. I'm just stuck.
Yeah.
And
a bear didn't eat me.
yeah.
Just stranded.
Yeah. So I mean, after I figured, I've got to do one or the other. I kind of gathered myself because I was at that point I was a little bit stressed out. Clearly, my truck's stuck in the tundra on Stampede Trail in Denali.
Alaska.
It's
Yeah.
wild. I got up on top of my truck and my binoculars to see if like I could see anything or anybody like coming down the
Sure.
trail or was within walking distance. I saw something shiny way in the distance, but I couldn't really tell what it was, even with the binoculars. Got back down, kind of tried the, traction boards again, nothing worked. And then I'm telling you, no more than 10 minutes later, this side by side comes out from ahead of me, back towards me.
Yeah.
But he passed me like about 40, 50 yards off the trail.
Yeah.
And I didn't know if he saw me or not. So I didn't know whether I should be like waving my or waving my hands in the air and like flagging him over, or if I should like just play it cool, like nothing's wrong and maybe he'll come past me. So, he didn't, I'm telling you, I looked and I didn't even see his head turn towards me. So I was like, oh shit, I don't think he even like saw me or the truck over here. And then I heard his engine running off in the distance a little bit for a couple of minutes. And I was like, well, fuck it. I'm just going to walk over towards him and try to, see if I can get his attention.
Yeah.
So I walk towards the direction and then all of a sudden I hear one vehicle that it sounded like there was two now. One vehicle takes off in the opposite direction. I'm like, oh shit. This is back in the direction where I have to cross basically a pool to get to the other side to where they were. Like that pool that I crossed on the way in.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh no, like I'm going to miss my chance by, a couple feet. Basically they couldn't see me or hear me. But then my luck, I guess, paid off or something, however that goes. But the dude that had passed the truck came up towards me back on the trail, and I think they did see me because they were like, "Hey, how's it going, buddy?"
Yeah, I'm kind of stuck, buddy.
Yeah, they could see me. Like I was on foot and I wasn't prepared. I wasn't a backpacker, obviously. I was wearing like jeans and like tennies, and I was like, yeah, I'm stuck over here. You think you can give me a tug or maybe just a hand? And he was like, yeah, sure. Let's go see what you got going on. And they took off and they were like, wow, you got yourself in a pickle. So luckily this side by side that came by was it was the next step would be a tank if you were driving something like that. I mean, had huge mud tires on. It was completely enclosed. I mean, these guys were out hunting moose for sure, 100%, and well prepared. So yeah, I couldn't have run anybody another side by side more perfect for that job to get me out of there. Winch on the front, and we did what's like a mechanical advantage. We did
the triple line, double line
snatch
pull.
block.
Snatch block. Thank you. Yeah, we did a snatch block, so we got the mechanical advantage because obviously he's pulling a 6,000-pound truck out of a mud pit, basically. So yeah, he only took about 30 seconds to tug me out of there and popped me out, and I was like, "Here are my last 2 beers. See you guys. Thank you." I mean,
I've always thought if I ever got in a situation like that, I would almost set my car alarm off, right? Because it's designed to get people's attention. And if you're in the backcountry, you could fire that guy off. Hopefully, you don't kill your battery, but you know
That's-
what I
Yeah.
mean. Like,
That's a heck of a
just-
tip, actually.
Yeah, it is a good
Pop
idea,
that thing and-
especially as a last resort.
yeah, because if you're just trying to get people's attention, because at that point, I imagine you're kind of in like scrub brush, right? That's, or maybe you're in trees. I'm not sure. I don't know what the landscape is up there, but not something where you can easily see. So, yeah, popping off your car alarm might save your life.
So you can see my,
Mm-hmm.
I have a picture
okay.
pulled up here. You
Yeah.
can see my tracks go right into here.
Mhm.
It's in
Yep.
front of the truck. Yeah. So that's where I was stuck, and that's why there was nothing for me to winch to. The tree on the left is like, it was way too far away, and it was
Mhm.
off on an angle. There's no way it would have worked.
That looks so unassuming. Like it just looks like a
Yeah.
sloppy. That's wild.
Yeah.
That's
I guess
the
that's how those
danger
things
of
go.
mud, I feel like.
Yep.
Yeah.
So,
So after that, I got out of there. I was like, I'm not.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean,
that was the end of the day.
Yeah. that was
That's
my
enough
turnaround
excitement.
point. Yeah, I was
Yeah.
not going to go any further.
But yeah, it's near where Christopher McCandless
mm-hmm.
ultimately got himself stuck, and if he had had the tools, he would have known that he could have like crossed the
Why
river.
didn't he just set his bus alarm off?
I know.
Jeez.
Not even his bus. He found that bus.
You found the buzz. Yeah.
Yeah.
I shouldn't make jokes about
No,
it.
we should.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, so after I my near death experience, we I think the next thing on the list was like head to Fairbanks, and then we were going to go north to see how far up, I mean, how close we get to the Arctic Ocean, you know?
Yeah.
And Fairbanks was more just like a jumping off point, I feel like. I mean, we didn't do anything there except we stayed at a Walmart.
Yeah.
For actually 2 nights, we stayed at the Walmart in Fairbanks.
Yeah, Fairbanks is it's just a town.
It's just I mean, nothing against Fairbanks, but it was just like any other, I mean, I don't know, just suburb I don't know.
Yeah.
It was fine, but we weren't
Your
really there
average.
to do anything in Fairbanks. It was just kind of our jumping off point to
Sure.
the Arctic Circle.
Yeah, so at that point we're Fairbanks, like she said, stayed at Walmart a night or two. And our plan was to fill up the truck with as much fuel as possible, the jerry can, water, food, all that. Drop the camper close to the Dalton Highway where it begins. And then we were just going to haul ass for basically 2 days, 1 day up and 1 day back.
Julian and Lise,
Yeah.
the couple, one of the other couples we met in Haines, convinced us we should do this, and we were absolutely capable of doing it. They had done it. They also have a Tacoma.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they just really were like, yeah, you could do it. You don't have just to go for one night, because we were just worried about the camper, and you cannot take the camper on the Dalton Highway. That is just absolute no. And we have a cat, and I didn't feel comfortable leaving the cat in the camper just like on a pull out on the side of the highway in the middle of Alaska, driving like 500 miles away. There's no service, and he's just locked in there, So we're like, all right, we have to take the cat. But they gave us a pep talk. They're like, you can absolutely do it. Just take the cat. Y'all can make it work for one night. Do what you got to do with, a litter box in the truck. And so that's what we set out to do.
Yeah, and for clarification, the Dalton Highway is the Hull Road. If you're familiar with ice road truckers, that is the road. The ice road. Yeah.
Yeah, that is the ice road.
Well, it's one of them. The Dempster's the other one.
Yeah.
So, road's in pretty bad condition.
It's it's a, I don't know how they can call it a road. This really is not a road. I mean, I
Yeah.
was being a little facetious about the Denali Highway, but that
Yeah.
is just a step to the actual most horrendous road, air quotes, again, that you have ever seen. It is, I mean, just sludge and potholes the size of our camper,
Wow.
and just like
geez,
muddy,
that's crazy.
gravelly sediment. And there's the 18 wheelers driving on it. They're all very good drivers. It's actually kind of I don't know, there's just like this massive amount of respect for the truckers who are on that road, because it is dangerous, and I know they're providing vital services and goods and transport and things for Prudhoe Bay with the oil and such. But pretty much any economy things related to the Dalton Highway, is to serve the truckers, and everybody is like
Yeah.
very I don't know what the word I'm thinking of, deferential to the truckers, like, and just drive safely, obey the speed limit. People die out here, like, don't be a dumbass.
Yeah.
But like, you see these 18 wheelers, and I was just in awe of what they're doing. I was like, they are off-roading. This is a semi off-roading in the middle of nowhere, Alaska. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah, a lot of credit.
I can't even verbalize in any sort of way to, like, I don't know, summarize the conditions of this road.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
It's
What a
so
cool shot.
bad.
Yeah. So before you get, too far up into the mountains, you actually do hit the Arctic Circle first in the Brooks Range. But this was a really surreal, incredible moment. The just being it's the Arctic Circle, like, it's just really wild. Even saying, like, we
drove there
from
Alabama.
Yeah.
Alabama to the Arctic Circle. Like, that's huge, dude. Yeah, it should feel big.
Really wild. It was just incredible. And then Liz, being the birder that she is, she loves birds, there are these gray jays that were just like, yeah, you got food, I'll land on your hands and eat it.
That's amazing.
Which is kind of
That's
a
pretty
no-no. I just want to go ahead and acknowledge, if there's anybody listening who wants to
give her a hard
give
time.
me a hard time for that, it's a little bit of a no-no. But these birds were
Just go through me to get
clearly-
to her if you're upset.
Okay.
I'll make sure she gets the message.
These birds were clearly used to human interaction, and we gave them the most healthy granola we had.
Yeah.
But that was
that's an
really
awesome picture.
cool.
Oh, sorry. I meant to hit that button.
Awesome picture. Look at y'all. You made it to the Arctic Circle.
Jeez.
Yeah.
We got one with Elliot too. We got him out of the truck. I think that was on.
Nice. I was gonna ask.
I think
Gotta
it was an iPhone.
We gotta get more of
picture,
Elliot
though.
in this
I
story.
know.
It's
He's-
an iPhone. Yeah, it was an iPhone.
He's
photo.
really the star of the show.
Wait,
He is
actually,
actually.
there is a photo of him. Hang on.
Oh, his head
Yeah,
is
Hey.
out the.
Looking like he's about to eat you.
Well, I think he was really into the birds too. So
Yes. He would have loved to hold a bird.
like, he's trying to get out.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And yeah, so we just hauled ass all the way through the Brooks Range. We went Adigan Pass, which was just otherworldly. What
Pictures.
I don't know if we have any, because we didn't stop there. You're not allowed to stop in Adigan
Oh
Pass.
yeah, right.
You basically, once you start the uphill climb into that range, basically there's signs everywhere. It says no stopping. For the safety of you and the safety of the truckers. It's incredibly steep. It's icy.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. just in some of these places, the risk of natural disaster just everywhere you go
Yeah.
is, I mean, just I've never seen anything like it. And it's not just Alaska. It was a lot of Canada too, and probably even parts of Washington. Just everywhere you go, do not stop, avalanche area, slide area, rockfall area, flood air, just everything is just like the earth is about to take you out.
Wow.
This is on the this photo here is a north, so we're on the north slope side of the Brooks Range, looking back towards Adigan Pass. And just see those
Mhm.
mountains. I mean, this is what,
Yeah.
September.
Wow. They're all snowy.
Yeah, and these are only like 4,000 feet high, 4,200 feet high. We're elevation 4,200 feet, and they're still, because you're so far up latitude wise,
Mm-hmm.
covered in snow. We saw a
That's beautiful,
grizzly.
man.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, it was a grizzly. It was so far off in the distance side.
I think you had just said something about being disappointed. Well, one reason we got really excited about the Arctic Circle is we heard that it was pretty much the only area you could see musk ox. And so we really were
cool.
hopeful of seeing musk ox, although I think we needed to go further north even. And also at that point we hadn't seen any caribou.
Mhm.
And we had heard they were moving north more at this point, so we wanted to see them, and we did not see caribou either. So I feel like Russ was just sort of lamenting the lack of wildlife, and I was like, oh, there's a bear, there's a grizzly bear.
that's great.
Moving his big old bear donk.
Yeah, this is
up the mountain.
This is as far north as we went. That's what the North Slope. Well, we're getting to the North Slope, but that's pretty much what it looks like on the northern side of
this
of
is
the Brooks
true
Range.
tundra
Yeah.
up here.
Wow. That's wild.
Just
It's-
nothing.
Looks like
desert.
Just
Up there.
barren. Nothing grows up there.
Yeah.
No trees. That's what.
Yep. No trees.
Mm.
Yeah. Just going through some photos here. Oh, there's the bear.
Man,
Because what's
the
the
Arctic
elevation
Circle.
up there?
Sorry, what?
What was the elevation up there? Is it
Are
Are you high?
yeah.
why
Adigan
trees aren't growing,
Pass-
or is it just the soil?
No, it's
It's
the elevation and the
And-
temperature. Well, the latitude. Sorry, not the elevation. It's, we actually passed you on the Dalton Highway. There's a landmark which we just flew by. It was like the northernmost spruce.
yeah.
Oh,
which
cool.
was-
You read it. not
yeah,
me.
I found it on Gaia, and I was like, oh shit, why didn't we stop at that? And it was like at a rest stop. It was really a bizarre place for it, but it said the northernmost spruce on the Dalton Highway or something like that. And
It's just so cold for so many months of the year.
Mm-hmm.
I think it has a very short growing season.
oops. This is Coldfoot. This is one of like 2 or 3 buildings in Coldfoot on the Dalton Highway. The gas was
$7.50 a gallon.
$7.49 a gallon there.
wowza.
Cool.
And it was the only gas station in either direction for like 200 miles.
Oh my
Yeah.
They're being
gosh.
nice to you
It was like
with that
Fairbanks.
price.
Yeah, it was like it was
Yeah.
like Fairbanks, Coldfoot, and then Prudhoe Bay
Yeah.
with like the 3 gas stations.
Yeah. And this was one of those places who I think pretty much solely exists to meet some needs of the truckers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There's some showers and a restaurant. But this is the only thing, like, I think this is it in Coldfoot. Like,
Wow.
I mean, there is nothing there. And it is a interesting place.
And which brings me to this next album here. When we got back, we were greeted
Oh,
with that.
Nice.
Northern
Northern
Lights number
Lights.
2. This was by far the most incredible one. A couple minutes after I took this photo, actually 10 minutes or so went by. I went back out and the whole sky was green. Like above my head to the south, it was wild. So this is looking north, of course. They danced here for quite some time. That was pretty incredible.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, for sure.
I see Palmer. We talked to you in Palmer.
Yes, that's where we.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where we had our last podcast. Yep.
At the library.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, we were parked basically on the riverbed. The riverbed's like it's a wash. Basically, you can see fall is still happening here. Happened for literally like 3 months.
It was a pretty cool spot.
This was a really neat spot.
It
Yeah,
was super windy.
I got the dirt bike out. I rode the dirt bike on the riverbed, which was pretty cool. And we
That's
found
awesome.
That wasn't cool.
a gazillion
Ooh.
rusty nails.
I think it's
People
a popular
burning
spot with
pallets.
locals. Yeah.
Yep. I was so pissed. I mean, we could have spent all day picking nails out of the
Jeez.
gravel. Yeah. So yeah, that's where we talked to you guys and had our podcast. The next spot was Seward. Seward, in my opinion, was my favorite stop in Alaska. The Kenai Peninsula is one of those spots that
Bold statement.
I want to go back and just spend like legit like 2 weeks on the Kenai Peninsula. There are places.
What made it the best?
Oh, you've got that while we were there, we did the ocean excursion, which was kind of an impromptu thing that we did.
It was very impromptu.
Yeah, we were out at dinner one night, and one of the rare times we actually go out to eat.
After we had found a shower at the public marina.
Nifty.
Oh,
Nifty.
the places we've showered.
Yeah. I was desperate for a shower, and I was checking all the apps, and we had wanted to go to dinner at what's it called?
It was the Flamingo.
The Flamingo Lounge. Julian and Lee. It's a well-known restaurant, a landmark, I think, iconic. But I needed a shower. I was like, I have to shower if we're going out in public. I checked all our apps and nothing was coming up with a shower spot. So I just Googled and came up on some old Reddit discussion that
brave souls.
that mentioned a public shower at the marina, and we went, and it wasn't free. It was coin operated, but it was decently clean, and it existed, and it was hot. So yeah, we did that, and then we went to the restaurant.
Yeah, and then we ended up getting information on this ocean excursion from our waitress.
Oh,
I think she had actually worked for the company. I think if I recall correctly,
something like that. Yeah.
So yeah, I think she had worked for the company at one point and was like, "Yeah, you guys should definitely call them, or like try to book it like right now and see if they have something open for the next day." So yeah, we looked online and we ended up being one other couple was on the boat with us
because due to the time of year, even in Seward, which is coastal, so it doesn't. I don't think it has as many limitations due to weather. But still, just the tourist season has pretty much ended. So they're right on the ocean. So there's a lot of ocean tours and charters. But out of all of those, there were only 2 that do year round. And she put us in contact with one. And I think she might have even texted them to ask, like, hey, do you have any boats going out tomorrow?
Oh, yeah, I think so. Right.
And she said yes they do, so we just booked it online, and it was it ended up being really cool because most of the other charters were larger boats. I'm not sure how many people, between 10 and 16 probably. Some might even have more, but this was very small. I think she could only hold 6 people in addition to her. We had our captain. Um, but yeah, it was just us and another couple. So there's only 4 of us, just basically getting a very personalized tour.
Nice.
It was great. I'd never been on anything like that before in my life. So that experience really, I mean, it is a big part of my memory of Alaska. Like
Yeah.
between that and the Harding ice field, which I have pulled up here kind of on my, I'm still sharing my screen.
Yeah, you are.
This hike was very strenuous. It was a very difficult hike, actually. The weather changed 3 times,
We
based
had
on
all the
elevation.
seasons.
Yeah.
Is this the kind of the same
On one hike?
Yeah, on the
Yeah.
one hike, yeah. It went from
That's
like,
great.
t-shirt weather at the bottom pretty much, but we knew we needed to bring all the layers, so we had everything on us. Started pretty nice. It was just damp, I think, a little bit, but once we started climbing, it got colder, but we were actually getting hot just from height. I mean, climbing at some points, like
Yeah.
bouldering. So we're taking layers off, even though it's getting a little colder. And then once you get up into like the alpine meadows, the trees start going away, and it starts getting cold, and you can start seeing, you start seeing patches of snow everywhere.
Yeah.
So it's getting a little bit colder. And then once we kind of like crested, some high points there above the tree line, the wind started picking up, and it definitely got a lot colder. And then eventually we reached, a lot more snow on the trail.
And then a storm came.
Yeah. I
Oh,
was getting to
shit.
that. But yeah, then we got hit by a storm. So like there's this shelter. This is like pretty much at the top of the hike. This is an emergency shelter. So I'm assuming,
Because in winter it's a mountaineering route.
yeah, and knowing
Oh,
what we
wow.
know now and what we went through up there, how fast the weather changed. I mean, this makes perfect sense to have it up there. So you can't camp up there, but
If you need to not die,
yeah,
you can take shelter.
if you're
What's the
trying to
difference
stay
between not
alive.
dying
Did
and
not
like
die.
wanting to camp in a cool spot? You
Yeah.
can just say you're really cold.
yeah.
But here's me, and here's the ice field in the background. I mean,
Wow,
how often do
that's
you get to see
crazy.
an ice field? This is
No.
feeding all the glaciers, or the
Those glaciers.
yeah, their feeder. I forget what the name is. Like right at the top, there actually is a technical term for. It's not important. But yeah, this was just an incredible experience right here too. So just seeing these from, a couple mile hike, and then going out on the ocean, just for a 2-3 hour boat tour, we just saw a very small portion of the peninsula. I just want to go back and see it all. Like most of the island you have to either boat to or fly to.
Oh, wow.
Not much is accessible by road.
Get on one of those little
That's a
puddle
lot.
jumper planes,
Yep. Yeah.
pond jumpers.
That's the wash looking back. Yeah. I
That's
mean, the
so
white
cool.
up at the top that's the cloud. That's the storm that basically rolled through. That's like the leftovers. When we were actually at the top at the viewpoint looking over the ice field, we saw the light kind of change, and it kind of got a little darker. And within about 5 minutes after saying, I think the weather's changing, the snow started like really coming down.
Crazy.
Yeah.
And we both looked at each other, and we're like, we're gonna go.
Yeah.
Like it's one of those moments where you
Time.
never
You don't want to get stuck up there, I mean.
Yeah, you never know how bad it's gonna get, but when
Yeah.
you see that it's turning, you're like, okay, maybe it's safer that we
Yeah.
just go.
We were, relatively prepared. We had a number of
Right.
layers and rain gear and additional food and headlamps and stuff, but we weren't prepared to overnight in like sub-freezing temperatures at elevation. And we did, I don't know. I just personally, I mean, Russ was in agreement, and we had reached the top at this point too.
Sure.
There was only really left to come down, but I felt a bit of urgency with the storm coming.
Yeah. Well, you're in the extreme elements, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and
Just an eagle chilling on the top. Some of these pictures are crazy.
Yeah.
And there were so many birds in Seward too. Which we both love. I'm more, I guess, the birder of the two, but yeah, it was a nice place, and it was relatively mild weather too. Still,
That's a cool shot. I love that.
I guess
Yeah,
in
that is
Alaska
super cool.
terms.
I think your camera's sideways. The rocks are going the wrong way.
Yeah, right. Really bizarre, right?
And we had really good weather.
Yeah, the weather and the
This
lighting
day.
was just perfect. Yeah.
These are dark. Did you?
That's
Wow.
just me playing with some lighting. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a really nice day, especially when we first set out. It was actually sunny and calm. I was hungover though. It was not.
I forgot about that. I made so
It
this
was
is one of
not
the
ideal.
yeah, this is one of the rare times where I actually filmed the whole thing too. I know you can't tell that because I have actually a lot of photos here too, but I had the camera rolling and I took a lot of film or a lot of video, and there are a few points in the video of you just kind of slumped over in the seat.
I hung in there and felt mostly okay, like all things considered. But then the weather, even that day when we went out, it was really good up until a point, even that's what our captain is telling us. But at a point it started turning and there were the swells were getting larger. Yeah, and so that's sort of
since winter is coming.
Yeah, and we're in this boat,
Yeah, there's
so it's
the
not
boat.
a big boat. That boat and some large ocean swells, and
Yeah, that's not a large vessel.
no. So
I love that the boat is named Missing Links. That's hilarious.
So yeah, I had to lay
Nice
down
catch.
pretty much.
Oh, looks like we're getting close to the end of the photo album for Alaska
Yeah.
here.
Yep. Here's leaving. I don't know what does that say? What did I write there? That album. Oh, Leaving Seward. Because I was probably sad and was like, oh man. Taking as many photos as I possibly could. Oh no, here's the here's where we were camped out. We were on another wash.
Wow.
Yeah, that's kind of our view out the side the window there. And then wait, before that weirdness.
It's an animal.
It was close to
No,
Halloween.
not really.
Yeah, it's close to Halloween.
Oh yeah.
Wait, what was I gonna? Oh yeah, it was the car.
There's some weird shit in Alaska.
So this was here. Just an Impala.
Wow.
Like a newer one too. Like
Just
yeah, like
something went
It's good.
down.
Sketch City.
Huh. Interesting.
Yeah, Sketch City.
yeah, it was really bizarre.
But we camped beside it.
Nice.
We checked it out. It was all good.
Fine. Yeah, it's fine.
We
good.
actually pulled up in that camp spot at night, so I saw the car. We saw the car there, and then I walked over later, and I was like, the hairs are standing up on the back of my neck, just like looking at it. And then I realized it was probably stolen, a hot item.
Yeah.
And just left there for dead.
Definitely would have been a little hot to the touch.
Mhm.
Yeah. It looked pretty fresh too, so let's see. After we left
we're not quite to the end of the photos, LJ, but we are very close.
Yeah. Yeah, we are. We did
Valdez.
oh no, we were gonna go to McCarthy. Remember, we were gonna go to the that was another Julian and Lise recommendation. thank you to
Mm.
them again. Yeah, the Wrangell
St. Elias.
it's a national park, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, it's national park. Some all world class hiking and mountaineering and backcountry stuff there. And we were on our way out to McCarthy, and we turned on the final road to take us into town, and there was a sign that said landslide road closed, I believe, something like along those lines. And it made us reconsider where we were going and what our next move was. So we decided to like kind of stick around and check out Valdez, which, you know, a couple people told us Valdez was not really worth it, but after driving through Thompson Pass, which is this.
Well, Valdez is a pretty not historic, but that's where that big oil spill was, right?
Yes,
The Exxon
yeah.
Valdez.
But I think they were speaking more towards the town. It's just another
okay.
it's just another port
Just
town in
another-
Alaska
yeah.
kind of thing.
But
And
it was a beautiful drive down.
yeah,
Yeah.
but that's what I'm saying. Nobody mentioned the drive down.
Well, Rebecca did, but she's like,
Yeah.
at this point, you've seen it all, probably.
Yeah, I mean, but when we started driving, I mean, I'm just
It
gonna
was
rock
really
through this.
beautiful.
I'm gonna rock through this album here.
Mhm.
This is on the way down from
This is
Glen
the end,
Allen
pretty much. Yeah.
to Valdez through Thompson Pass. So
Mhm.
these are just some random photos I just took on the side of the road.
Wow.
We made
Jeez.
one stop. I mean, look at this. This is incredible.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And it gets better. We didn't know this, but it gets better. Like we were just like, oh my God, look at this shit. Let's pull over and take photos.
Yeah.
And then we get to Thompson Pass. And again, I pull over and I'm like, okay, this is cool. And then we went down the road a little bit further and it just keeps getting better
Oh wow.
and better. I mean, look at this.
Whoa.
I drove the truck out on this trail. Look, I mean, amazing. The peaks were just
I mean, that's
really
like what
unique.
people go to Southern Colorado to see, you know, for 2 months out of the year, right? That's San Juan level beautiful right there.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is you know, Black Bear Pass looking down into Telluride times 10.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Amazing.
This is actually the shot right here is the shot on Rome for Low's homepage right now.
Awesome.
As it should
Wow.
be.
There it
That's
is.
epic.
That's this is actually I think one of the shots. I don't know, the color's weird. Oh, there it is. That's the one.
Gorgeous.
Yeah, it was amazing. So we did explore this little area. I flew the drone a little bit, and
Mhm.
this is pretty much this was a really good way to say goodbye to Alaska, because this was, you know, like I said, this was our last. McCarthy was supposed to be our last stop,
Mhm.
and
Oh wow, you're in it.
yeah, and since we couldn't go to McCarthy, we did this, and then we're like,
Pretty
okay,
much
weather's
headed out,
turning.
yeah.
We Glen Allen was a fun stop on the way out. We had that
Yeah.
Mexican food that was
It was
incredibly
really
good.
Wow.
That was like a farewell to Alaska right there,
Yeah.
which was
Yeah.
weird, eating Mexican food. The best Mexican food we had the entire trip,
Yeah.
I think.
Where was he? He was from. I think he was Mexican American, but he had moved there from like Florida or something.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. It
He had
was-
a really good
He
story.
had a really good story. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was really good
Mm.
food.
Here's me showing off my Diodynamics
Nice.
LED lights.
Yeah,
So
this is the Valdez Glacier.
Yeah.
So we did go down
Mm.
there and poke around a bit.
right, so all these little white spots out here in the distance are actually all icebergs falling off the Valdez Glacier. And they
Wow.
have like it
Wow.
has like their own lagoon here, and they kind of get stuck here and they just chill.
No pun
Any
intended.
other pictures?
What'd you say?
Did you get any other pictures?
No, I didn't.
I got
This
good
is
ones
just from the
on
drone,
the,
and it was so dark at that
that's a
point,
good
at that
one on
time.
phone.
Yeah. Well, this
Oh
actually
man,
got some good
dude,
photos.
What an epic story of Alaska. Y'all did it.
Seriously.
Like from
I hope we did it
months ago, and you guys were getting rid of shit, and you were hitting the road, and y'all did it.
I hope we did a good job
epic.
making it sound epic.
You did to me. Like I want to. Yeah, that was incredible. I love this story time.
You did it right though. Like, you know, it's like sometimes I want to make it happen, and it's like I got 2 weeks to do it, and I don't think that's enough time. I think you need more time to do Alaska the right way. I think you just showed me that. That's what I took away from that moment. The most thing is like what's away for me was you need to do it when you have maybe 2 months to really settle in and enjoy it, right?
That's what we did. I think it was a total of like 6.5 weeks
or 7.
or 7.
You did say 6.5.
Close enough.
Yeah. You gotta get in it. You can't just get there for a week. You gotta settle in.
Yeah. And then it was tough. I mean, we did so much driving there, so many miles. It took us 7 days.
Big.
It took us 7 days to get from Tok, Alaska, which is basically by the border, down to Vernon, British Columbia, which is close. I say a couple hours. It's a couple hours from Vancouver. A whole week of driving. Now, of course,
7 days.
For us, it's slow.
Yeah, we're not necessarily covering maximum miles every day, but
not a lot of ground.
It is a lot of travel in a time in the vehicle and getting things ready. But to put it in perspective, you know, it took 7 days. I think 7 nights even.
Yeah.
Wow. That's
stats.
Crazy.
As of right now, we've done 21,000 miles since July. 14 states, 3 provinces, 83 campsites.
Wow.
Nice.
That's amazing.
Yeah, we've stayed at 83 different
Does every Walmart count as one, or do you separate those out?
They're separate. Every Walmart has its own vibe.
Yeah, they sure do.
They really do.
Some smell like cigarette smoke. Some have a very strong diesel smell. Yeah, there's.
Oh man. Well, I am so grateful to be able to hear this story first, and so grateful that you shared it with us so we can share with all the folks that listen to us across the world. And just want to thank you for that. What you guys do is awesome. What you've done is inspiring, and we're just so grateful to be able to listen to it, hear about it, and then also share it for folks who are going to follow in y'all's footsteps. So keep traveling.
Yep. I love what you guys do. Keep doing it.
If we can do it, anybody can. You just have to put your mind to it.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Sounds like a good idea. I love it.
Just do it. I love it. I love it. Well, I'm excited to hear about Baja. On our schedule now, we'll probably hear about it in the summer when everyone's in the hot and the summer of it, and y'all are cooling off probably somewhere else in the world. But I am pumped because y'all are about to do some fun stuff, and I think this series is going to keep on going on with some new episodes. So
I love it.
Y'all stay safe, and we'll catch you around the next turn.
Thank you guys.
Bye, guys.
Thanks, guys. Safe travels.
Next time.
Yeah.